And now, the adventures of Superman. Tonight marks the opening of the bitterest election campaign in the history of Metropolis. District Attorney Henry Marshall, who is supported by Superman and his friends on the Daily Planet newspaper, is running for mayor against Martin Higgins, leader of a corrupt political machine. As the city's foremost girl reporter, Lois Lane has been invited to speak at a mass meeting for Marshall. But as she was leaving the planet, she received a threatening phone call from an unknown man, warning her to stay away from the meeting. Angrily, Lois replied that she could not be scared off. And as we continue now, she and cub reporter Jimmy Olsen, who has been assigned to cover the mass meeting, are in a taxicab en route to Park Square. Lois is going over her speech. Listen.
And as all of you know, Henry Marshall's record as a brilliant, courageous public servant is beyond reproach.
I wonder who made that phone call, Miss Lane.
What phone call, Jim?
Well, you know, just before we left the office. The call warning you not to show up at the meeting tonight.
Oh, that. It must have been one of Martin Higgins's dirty crew trying to scare me off. Well, I'll bet he tried the same bluff on the other speakers.
Maybe it wasn't a bluff.
Oh, Jim,
well, Mr. Ken and Mr. White said there are a lot of gangsters and racketeers working to elect Martin Higgins. They'll be run out of town unless Higgins is elected. Mr. Kent says they won't stop at anything to get him elected.
They won't stop at anything underhanded, no. But out in the open with a crowd of respectable citizens and the police around, they'll be as meek as lambs.
I hope you're right.
I know I am, Jim. Don't let that phone call worry you. Trying to spoil your opponent's political rallies is old stuff.
Just the same, I wish Mr. Kent was with us.
What do we need him for?
Well, if anything happened and he was around...
He'd be the first one to run away.
Well, he would not. Well, you're always making fun of him, Miss Lane, but you're wrong. Mr. Kent is...
I know. Brave as a mouse.
Oh, doggone it, Miss Lane.
Now, Jim...
I'm sorry. It's me mad when you laugh at Mr. Kent.
I'm sorry, too, Jim. I really shouldn't, I suppose, but... Oh, well, forget it. We're coming into the square. Good heavens, look at that crowd.
The crowd is right. Jeepers, there must be 10,000 people.
5,000, anyhow. Could you drive right up to that sound truck in the middle of the square, cabby?
That's right, lady.
Okay. You seem to be a little late, Jim. The meeting's begun already. Open your window, will you, please?
Okay.
And so I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, a vote for Henry Marshall is a vote for clean and honest government. Thank you.
Gosh, listen to that applause. Who's the man just finished speaking?
Mr. Prescott, Henry Marshall's campaign manager.
Oh.
Gee, I didn't realize there'd be so many people. I hope I don't get nervous.
Oh, you won't. You're a swell speaker.
Thanks.
I can't get you any closer, lady. So big a crowd.
This is close enough, thanks. Let's see, 75 cents. Here you are, driver, and keep the change.
What's your flag?
Come on, Jim, and hurry. I think I'm scheduled to be the next speaker.
We seem to have some hecklers in the crowd, Miss Lane. I hope you won't let them bother you.
I'll try not to, Mr. Prescott.
Good. Now, if you're ready, Miss Lane, I'll introduce you.
All right. I don't think I'll ever be any more ready.
I'm sure you'll do a grand job.
Thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, the most famous woman reporter in the country, Miss Lois Lane of the Metropolis Daily Planet.
Wish me luck, Jim.
Sure, good luck, Miss Lane. And don't worry about those hecklers. I'll be watching.
Okay, Jim.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to appear before you tonight and endorse the candidacy of a fine and courageous American, Mr. Henry Marshall.
Listen to those guys.
Don't pay any attention to them, son.
I know Henry Marshall, and I know that he will carry out his campaign promises. He says that he will, if elected mayor of this city, wipe out the slums, the breeding place of crime and juvenile delinquency, and promote a modern housing program. He will keep his word.
Did you hear that, Mr. Prescott?
Yes, there seems to be more of those young toughs here tonight than I thought.
One of our greatest problems today is no labor. Mr. Marshall proposes to deal with it by providing good housing, more schools and playgrounds, and other recreational facilities for our young people. His opponent, on the other hand, Mr. Martin Higgins, says that there's nothing wrong with the slums. And the reason he says it is because the wealthy and greedy owners of Metropolis slum property are supporting his campaign.
That's the lie. Higgins is okay.
Yeah, that's the lie. Hooray for God. Just 1 moment, please.
Now we've heard enough from you.
Hey, look. A bunch of the guys are pushing toward the sound truck.
Yes, yes. Officer! Officer!
You can't scare me. I know that I speak for the great majority of honest citizens here tonight when I denounce Martin Higgins and his vicious political machine.
Shut up and sit down. Come on, get him, guys.
Keep back. Come here, Miss Lane. Miss Lane. Miss Lane, come here.
Jim, look out. They're trying to push the truck over, Jim.
Officer!
Jim!
Hang on to me, Miss Lane. We're turning over.
Clinging to one another, Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane feel the huge sound truck rock, then crash over on its side as the spectators gasp in horror and police whistles blow furiously. We'll return in a moment for the exciting climax of today's episode.
Say, gang, did you know? Kellogg's Pep is a wizard at magic. Yes, sir. Pep the Sunshine cereal has a magic touch that can transform breakfast into a sunny sort of meal, and no sleight of hand needed. Just pour out a serving of those crisp golden toasted flakes of whole wheat and get set to enjoy yourself, because Pep is tender and crunchy and delicate as can be. Pep is full of sparkling sunshine flavor, a come-on flavor that keeps your spoon coming right back for more. Yes, sir, Kellogg's Pep sure has the old stuff that puts breakfast on the sunbeam every time. Pep boosts your quota of nutrition, too. Gives you solid whole wheat nourishment plus. So you're on the right track if you polish off every tender, crisp flake in your bowl. And here's another angle, gang. Nowadays, the cereal grains, like the whole wheat in Kellogg's Pep, are being sent to fellows and girls overseas. So it's not a good idea to waste cereal. When Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, take special pains to make sure there's no waste at your house. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. And say, kind of keep an eye on your younger brothers and sisters, too. That's a cinch, isn't it? Just be sure to eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
An hour has passed since Lois Lane, with Jimmy Olsen at her side, was addressing a political mass meeting in Park Square when a group of young toughs overturned the sound truck in which Jimmy and the girl reporter stood. Now, in the 3rd Ward headquarters of the Martin Higgins for Mayor party, above a saloon in the squalid slum section of Metropolis, 2 men sit in a bare, smoke-filled office. One is tall, thin, and sallow-faced. The dead stub of a cigar seems almost to grow from a corner of his tight, thin mouth. He is Joe Keenan, henchman and ward leader for Martin Higgins. The other man is of middle height, heavy-set and swarthy, with small, bright black eyes. He smokes cigarettes chain fashion, and 2 large diamonds gleam on his heavy fingers. His name is Al Vincent, and he is the owner of a string of neighborhood pawn shops. Joe Keenan shows tobacco-yellowed teeth as his thin lips twist in a smile.
Your boys did a good job on that mass meeting tonight, Al. Darn good. I told you they would. But you got to be a little more careful, Al. Not so rough. They might have killed that dame reporter, that Lois Lane, and that young guy with her when they tipped the truck over.
If they don't stick to reporting and stay out of politics, they will get hurt bad. Screaming in that paper, the slum's got to go. This neighborhood's okay. I got a good trade here, and I worked a long time building up my connections. They can't do that to me.
They won't if Martin Higgins gets in.
He'll get in all right. He's got to get in, even if...
Hey, wait a minute. Hello. Oh, hello, boss. How'd you like what Al's boys done to Marshall's mass meeting tonight, huh? Huh? What's that? Hey, when did it happen? Yeah, I get it. Well, who do you think? Huh? Why, those dirty... Yeah, I'm listening, boss. Sure, I know what it means. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Right, so long. Creepers.
What's the matter, Joe?
Oh, plenty. That was Higgins. Somebody sneaked some letters out of his office, and if Henry Marshall and the newspapers get hold of them, Higgins is sunk.
You got any idea who stole them?
Yeah. You see, he just found out his secretary has been going around with a Daily Planet reporter. Now the secretary is scrammed, and Higgins thinks she's copped the letters and give them to the newspaper guy.
That's murder.
We gotta get those letters, Al. Boy, they're dynamite. If the Planet's got them, Higgins not only won't be the next mayor, but he might be wearing a striped suit and a number.
That'll ruin my business, but good.
Yeah, well, what about me? I'm tied in on a dozen deals with Higgins.
We got to get those letters back.
Yeah, sure, but how?
There must be a way. Let me think a minute. Yeah. I got a lot of smart characters working for me. Kids I trained myself.
Kids? This ain't no job for kids. This is big stuff. The Planet's one of the top papers in the country. What are we going to do, Hal?
Shut up and let me think. Yeah, maybe it'll work.
What?
Something I just thought of. One of my kids.
Will you stop talking about kids? I'm telling
Will
you.
you pipe down and listen? I got an idea, and it just might work. Now listen, and don't pop off till I get through.
You said you wanted to see me, Al.
Yeah. What took you so long?
The old lady was crabbing as usual. What's on your mind, Al?
I got a job for you.
That's swell. $20 you gave me for them tires we swiped is all gone. I could use some more cabbage.
There'll be a lot more than $20 for you in this deal.
Yeah? How much?
A C-note.
$100?
That's right.
Creepers. $100. What do you want me to do, Al?
First, I want you to get a job.
A what?
A job.
Me take a job? A regular working job? Nothing doing.
I guess I had you figured wrong, Chickie. I had you down for a smart kid. But if you're turning down a chance for any easy...
Now, wait a minute. What's the pitch for this C-note? What kind of a job do I have to get, and what for?
What's the difference? You just said...
Never mind what I just said. What do I do for the $100?
First thing, like I said, you got to get a job. Any kind of a job, running errands and stuff like that.
Yeah?
But you got to go to work for the Daily Planet newspaper.
Okay, then what? You ain't giving me a C-note just for going to work on a newspaper. What's the angle?
Once you get the job, I want you to keep your eyes open and do a little snooping. Case the joint good.
What for? Anything special?
Yeah, some letters.
Letters?
That's right. Letters written to Marty Higgins, which if we don't get him back, will lick Marty's chances of ever getting elected mayor, or anything.
Holy smokes.
Now, look, these letters was written to Marty by some big-shot racketeers he was doing business with. They were stolen from Higgins, and he's got a pretty good idea the Planet's got him. Now, if they print him and then turn him over to the DA, Higgins is a dead pigeon, see?
Yeah, I see. Without Higgins for protection, your chances for making big dough easy ain't worth a nickel, huh?
That includes you, too, Chickie, and the rest of your bunch. That's why we gotta get them letters.
Mm-hmm. Well, supposing I find out the Planet's got him, then what?
Lift them, if you can. If not, let me know where they are, and we'll get somebody else to pinch them. But the most important thing right now is for you to get in there at the paper and see what's cooking.
That ain't going to be so easy. They ain't going to give me a job just because I come around asking for one.
I got an angle for you. Listen. There's a dame working there, a sob sister, who's all the time shooting off her mouth about tenement kids in this neighborhood not getting a break out of life, see?
Yes, so what?
So you're a poor kid from the tenements and you need a break. You get it?
Yeah, I get it, but suppose she don't tumble.
Then I got another angle. But you're a smart kid, Chickie.
Thanks.
You got a good gift of gab and a talent for acting. Make up a good story about your old man being dead and your poor old mother and 4 little kids starving and stuff like that. I'm sure you'll put it over.
Okay, it's a deal. Who's the dame I gotta see?
Her name's Lane.
Lois Lane?
Yeah. You know her?
Sure I do.
How come?
Well, last year, before my sister... She's the one who was always watching me. Before she got married and moved away, she used to make me go to that settlement house with her. That Lane dame was teaching journalism then, and I was in her class. Yeah, she likes me, too.
Hey, that's swell.
Ain't it, though? It's gonna be a pushover.
Sure it is. Yeah, but don't be too cocky now. Fix yourself up with a hairdo and a dress instead of slacks, so you look like a nice, sweet kid.
Yeah, leave it to me, Al. I know what to do. But, gonna need a few bucks for expense.
Okay. Here's a 10-spot.
Thanks. I'll be seeing you soon. With Marty Higgins' letters. So long.
Leaving Al Vincent's pawn shop, Mary Hennig pauses briefly. Then, with bright eyes shining confidently, she turns and hurries up the squalid tenement street toward her home. A short time later, Editor Perry White is chortling gleefully as he hangs up his telephone in his office at the Daily Planet, and then turns to face Clark Kent and Lois Lane.
What's up, Chief? That was Tony Sloan. He's got the Higgins letters.
Say, that's swell. Wonderful, Chief.
Yeah, you can say that again. Tony says they prove conclusively that Martin Higgins is mixed up with gangsters and racketeers.
Oh, we've always known that.
And he wants to be mayor.
Well, he's through now. When we published those letters, Higgins couldn't be elected dog catcher.
Even that job's too good for him.
How did Tony ever get those letters, Chief?
I don't know, and I don't care. I've been after Martin's scalp for a long time, ever since he blocked the slum clearance bill in the city council.
Yeah, I know.
And now I've got him. We're going to break him and his dirty political machines once and for all.
It'll be a great day for Metropolis. Incidentally, you'll be revenged for that sprained ankle you got last night, Lois. And Jim for his black eye.
I don't want revenge. I just want to see the slums torn down and replaced with decent housing. Why, since I've been giving that journalism class at the settlement house, I've had a chance to really see what the slums are like. And believe you me, when you see what few opportunities those kids have down there, well, you know one reason why we have so much juvenile delinquency.
You're not kidding.
Well, put that in the Sunday feature story, Lois. When Henry Marshall is elected mayor, you'll see those slums disappear. Oh, how I've waited for this day.
When's Tony bringing in the letters, Chief?
He said he'll be down pretty soon.
Oh.
Now, when he comes in, Kent, I want you to...
Pardon me.
Well, what is it, Beanie?
Well, there's a slick chick here to see Miss Lane.
A what?
A slick chick. A dream date. You know, whistle bait.
Oh, Beanie.
What in thunder are you talking about?
Honestly.
I think Beanie's trying to say that an attractive young lady is calling on Lois, Chief.
Gee, that's right, Mr. Kent. Only she ain't exactly a young lady.
Oh?
She's just a kid.
Did she give you her name, Beanie?
Yes, ma'am, it's Mary. Mary Hennig.
Mary Hennig.
She says you'd know her because she was in your journalism class at the settlement, Miss Lane.
Mary Hennig at the... Oh, yes, of course. Now I remember. Why, she's a darling girl and very bright, too.
Oh, boy. All this heaven.
Get now up here, you moony young calf, before I...
Excuse me just a minute, Chief, till I see what Mary wants. Come on, Beanie.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, make it snappy. We've got work to do, you know.
I know, Chief, but I can't just refuse to see this poor, underprivileged child. She may need help.
Unaware of the girl's real purpose, Lois Lane hurries out to greet Mary Hennig, otherwise known to her Confederates as Chickie. Will the young girl hoodlum's mission be successful? We'll know in just a moment, so stand by.
Say, how about giving breakfast a build-up at your house tomorrow morning? How about trying this week's Pep Dish of the Week, a Pep Jamboree? Boy, it's as snappy a dish as you'd ever hope to see, and as nifty a treat as you'd ever hope to taste. It's easy to fix, too. You just pour your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal, in your bowl as usual. Then top with a layer of that gay mixture fruit cocktail. Pour on some of the sweet juice, too. Add milk, and you have a Pep Jamboree. Yes, sir, and will you have a jamboree of fun with that dish? Why, those crisp, tender flakes of Kellogg's Pep really do things for the fruit. That smooth sunshine flavor tickles your taste like anything. Why, Kellogg's Pep tastes so terrific, before you know it, you've polished off every bit in your bowl. And a good thing that is, especially nowadays when the cereal grains are being sent to fellows and girls overseas. So, gang, when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make sure there's no waste at your house. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. And say, kind of keep an eye on your younger brothers and sisters, too. Remember, eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
In her office, Lois Lane listens intently as Mary Hennig, alias Chickie, a hardened young hoodlum, plays the part of a sweet young lady in an effort to enlist the girl reporter's sympathies.
Of course, I know I haven't the right to bother you with my troubles, Miss Lane.
Oh,
but
it's no bother, Mary.
Well, like I said, you've always been sort of my ideal.
Oh.
Well, you're just wonderful. I wanted to be a reporter exactly like you. But now with my father dead and Mom tied up with 5 younger children to take care of, well, I've just got to quit school and get a job to help take care of them.
Yes, I understand how you feel, you poor child, and I admire you very much for it. But look, Mary, couldn't you continue going to school and work, well, maybe after hours and Saturdays?
Oh, sure I could, Miss Lane, but I couldn't make enough that way.
I see.
I've got to make at least $15 a week to get along. What's the use of talking? I've tried, and I know I can't get that much for just after school work, so... Well, that's that. But it was real sweet of you to listen, Miss Lane.
Oh, not at all, Mary.
I just wanted you to know how I like you and how I wanted to grow up to be just...
Oh, now, wait a minute, dear. Don't cry. After all, $15 a week isn't so terribly much. Maybe I could help you.
Oh, no. I couldn't just take any money from you, Miss Lane, or from anybody. Not without working for it, I mean. I just couldn't.
I know that, Mary. I was just thinking that if I could get you a job here after school and on Saturdays, well, you might be able to earn that amount of money and still continue your education.
You mean here? Right here with you in the Daily Planet?
That's right. It just occurred to me that we could use an office boy an office girl, I'm sorry. Do you think you'd like a job like that?
Oh, would I? Oh, jeepers, I'd be so happy. Oh, gosh, Miss Lane, I'm so excited. Could you do it?
I think so. Anyhow, it's worth a try, isn't it? You come with me.
Where?
We're going to see Mr. White, the editor, right now. We'll convince him that you deserve a chance. I tell you, we are short-handed around here, Chief. We need another office boy. I mean office girl.
We don't need another office boy or an office girl either.
But we do. Beanie should have someone to help him run copy. The poor boy is running himself ragged.
Are you kidding? Beanie never ran a step in his life. If I gave him an assistant, he'd sleep all day.
Well, Miss Williams needs help in the filing room, doesn't she, Clark?
Huh? Why, yes. Come to think of it, Lois, Miss Williams has been looking rather tired lately.
There, you see, Chief, Clark thinks we need Mary, too.
I don't care what he thinks. I'm running this paper, and
Mary can help Beanie and Miss Williams, and me, too. What's more, I'm sure she'll develop into a fine reporter.
Sure, look, Chief, Lois is right. After all, you can't expect...
No. We've got all the help we need, and that's that. And furthermore...
Now, you see what you've done, Chief?
What I've done?
Yes, you. Don't cry, Mary.
What's the matter with you two? Can't you see this girl's too young to go to work? She belongs in school. Now, young lady, if you want to amount to anything, you need an education.
Yes, sir.
Lois explained that Mary only wants to work after school and on Saturdays, Chief.
Then why does she have to pick on me? There are plenty of jobs to be had after school for bright youngsters.
Well, that's right,
But
Chief.
I want to work on the Daily Planet and get to be a reporter like Miss Lane.
No, you do, eh?
But if you don't want to give me a chance...
Now, there.
Wait a minute. Take it easy, Mary.
Lois, will you please make her stop that infernal crying?
I think you better take her out of here, Lois, for a minute.
I will. But you haven't heard the last of this, Mr. White. Come along, Mary.
Oh, all right. Goodbye, Mr. White.
Goodbye.
Have her wait in the city room, Lois.
Wait, what for?
Sit in that chair by Miss Bartrat's desk, Mary. Now, don't go away.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Chief.
You certainly should.
Aye, ashamed. What for?
The way you treated that poor kid.
Well,
Why?
I'll be...
Perry White, the great crusader, the knight in shining armor.
Yes.
The man who writes scathing editorials demanding that slums be wiped out, but not one
Yes,
word.
the man who screams in bold-faced type that the children of the slums have no opportunities to overcome their environment.
Yes, and that we, the more fortunate members of society, are alone responsible for juvenile delinquency.
Well, what's that got
and
to
the
do
first
with...
chance you get to personally help a deserving kid pull herself out of the environment that may turn her into a delinquent, what do? You turn her down.
But what's that got to do with me and the Daily Planet? What are we running here, a social service agency?
Oh, now, look,
what am I supposed to do? Give a job to every prospective juvenile delinquent who takes it into his head
No,
to come
Chief,
in here?
you're not supposed to. Nobody's asking you to do that. All I want you to do is to listen to this kid's story before you throw her out.
Oh, all right. Give it to me, but fast.
Well, thanks. Well, here it is in a nutshell. Mary is one of 6 children whose father is dead and whose mother must support a family on a pension of $15 a week.
What? $15 a week for a family of 7?
That's right. And Mary figures that if she can earn the same amount, the total of $30 will just about see them through. So despite the fact that she dreamed of someday becoming a reporter, she's decided to sacrifice her ambition and quit school to get a job. Well, you know what that means.
Probably that she'll never overcome her environment as long as she lives.
And also that the first chance for easy money that comes her way will tempt her to grab it.
Yes, and that, as you well know, results usually in a kid's becoming a juvenile delinquent. The lure of easy money through crime is a temptation hard to resist.
You said that 100 times in your editorials, Chief.
Sure, I have. Everyone knows that.
Well, but here's a chance to save one youngster from falling into it. Don't you think it's worth $15 a week to give her a chance?
She seems like a bright kid, too. Certainly deserves credit for her spunk.
I'll say she does. And she is bright, too. She was the smartest one in my class. Seems to have a real knack for picking things up quickly.
What do you say, Chief?
Well, if what you say is true...
Oh, Chief, you will give her the job?
Now, wait a minute. I didn't say that, and I won't commit myself either until we check her story.
But, Chief,
Now,
look,
how do we know that this sob story she gave you isn't a phony?
Oh, no.
After all, we can't just take on anyone without references
Oh, no,
or...
that's ridiculous.
No, it
Chief.
isn't.
Oh, the Chief's right, Lois. It is customary to check references.
Nonsense, Clark. She's all the reference I need, and I'm prepared to take the full responsibility.
Well, that's fine, but just
What's
the same...
more, I'll even post a bond for her.
What about a working permit? That's required, you know.
No, I'll see that she has one.
You certainly are sold on that kid.
Yes, I am. I think this is a fine chance for us to do something besides talk.
All right. For the love of Mike, get off the soapbox and bring her in here. She's hired. Now, Mary, I want you to understand that I'm hiring you without references and strictly on Miss Lane's say-so.
I understand, Mr. White. Oh, gee, I hope you won't be sorry, Miss Lane.
I know I won't, Mary.
I certainly hope so. Now, you'll get $15 a week for coming in every day after school and all day Saturday.
Oh, gee whiz, that's swell. When can I start?
Right away. Lois, take her in and introduce her to Miss Williams and see that she meets the rest of the staff.
Okay,
Then
Chief.
come right back here because Tony Sloan should be here soon with those... wait a minute. Very White speaking. Tony, where are you? We were Huh? What's that?
Something wrong, Chief?
Quiet, Kent. Go on, Tony. Yes. Yes, you sure? Oh, boy, that's wonderful. Swell. You bet. I'll contact Inspector Henderson. Look, what about those Higgins letters? I see. Now, okay. Kent will meet you there at 9 o'clock. Right. Now, be careful now. Goodbye.
Well, must have been good news. You certainly look pleased, Chief.
Like the cat that swallowed the canary.
That swallowed Martin Higgins would be better.
Hey, what's up? Tony discovered something new?
And how? He's been digging into Higgins' background further, and he has just come up with another of that rat's dirty business partnerships. A pawn shop that serves as a fence for a gang of young hoodlums.
Wonderful.
That's not all. The guy who runs the pawn shop, Tony says, conducts what amounts to a training school for boy and girl thieves.
Good heavens, who is this monster?
A man named Al Vincent.
Al Vincent?
Hey, what's the matter, Mary? Why have you turned so pale?
As the color drains from Mary's face, Lois turns to her solicitously, while Perry White and Clark Kent, their eyes suddenly narrowing searchingly, look hard at the girl. Is she about to give herself away as Al Vincent's agent? We'll know in a moment, so stand by for the dramatic climax of today's episode.
Say, gang, if you want breakfast to give your day a good start in life, latch on to Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal. Boy, there's a breakfast treat that is a treat. Packed with sunny, golden toasted flavor for one thing. A keen, sparkling sort of flavor that perks up your appetite like anything. Pep is crisp, too, and crunchy, so tender it practically melts in your mouth. Why, Kellogg's Pep tastes so terrific, you can hardly wait to dig in and finish off every golden toasted flake in your bowl. Mom likes that, you know, because Pep is good for you. Sure, gives you solid whole wheat nourishment plus. What's more, it's never a good idea to waste cereal. And nowadays, we're sending the cereal grains to help give good grain nourishment to fellows and girls all over the world. So, latch on to Pep, gang. When Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make sure there's no waste at your house. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and polish off every bit you pour out. Pass the word along to the rest of your family, too. It's so easy to do, and it's so important. Always eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
What's the matter, Mary? Why have you turned so pale?
Don't you feel well?
No,
Mary, do you know Al Vincent?
Well, that is, yes, in a way.
Well, what do you mean, in a way?
Do you know anything about Vincent's so-called school for juvenile thieves?
Oh, no, Mr. Kent.
You're sure you don't know anything about the gang of young boy and girl hoodlums who meet in the clubroom back of his shop every week?
No, sir. No, I don't.
Well, then how do you know him, Mary? You can tell us.
Well, it's just that I brought something into a shop to pawn once, and, well, he was very nasty to me. When you mentioned his name again, I just got scared all over again, remembering.
Oh, you poor child.
Now, don't you worry. He won't bother you or anyone else for a long time after tonight.
What do you mean, Chief?
Well, tonight's the night that Vincent holds his weekly meeting with the members of his juvenile crime club.
Were you serious about that?
Certainly. Tony Sloan got all the dope on that. And you, Kent, are to meet him in front of Vincent's pawn shop at 9 o'clock with Henderson and the detachment of police to stage a raid on the joint.
Well, what about the Higgins letter?
Well, Tony's got them. He'll turn them over to you following the raid. Oh, and after that, both Martin Higgins and Al Vincent will find themselves where they belong, behind bars.
Hello?
Johnny?
Yeah, who's this?
Chicky. Listen and get this to Al right away. The cops are going to raid Al's clubroom tonight at 9 o'clock.
What?
Shut up and listen. A guy named Tony Sloan, a reporter, is going to be waiting out front for him. He's got the Higgins letters. Got that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now get in touch with Al right away and tell him everything I told you. And don't waste no time.
You Tony Sloan?
Yeah. No.
I heard you the first time. Okay, guys, grab him. No. Come on, stop it, you're
Heavily outnumbered, the Daily Planet reporter fights desperately, but in vain. And soon his stifled cries and his struggles cease. Then a car roars away from the scene, and the dark alley is once more deserted. A A few minutes later, a police car pulls to a stop in front of Al Vincent's pawn shop. Another stops in the alley at the rear door. Clark Kent, Inspector Henderson, and Officer Healy step out of the first car and quickly enter the shop.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Are you Al Vincent?
That's right. What can I do for you?
I'm Inspector Henderson of the police department. Here's my shield.
Well, it's a nice-looking shield. You want to pawn it, Inspector?
Wise guy, huh?
Never mind, Healy. Vincent, we have information that you maintain a headquarters for juvenile lawbreakers here and that you deal in stolen property.
What? Now, wait a minute.
I want to have a look around. Here's my search warrant.
No, now, look here, Inspector.
Come along. I want to look at your clubroom.
What clubroom? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, no?
No. I'm an honest merchant.
Save it, Vincent. Open the door, Healy.
Hold it, Inspector.
Stand back, Kent. Go ahead, Healy.
Nobody move. This place is surrounded. What the...
Well, I'll be empty.
I tried to tell you.
There's nobody here.
Of course there ain't nobody here. This is my storeroom.
Storeroom.
No kids, no jukebox, no card games. Just a lot of old junk.
I thought you said this was Vincent's clubroom, Kent, and that he was holding a regular weekly meeting of his hoodlums tonight.
That's right, Inspector, but apparently Mr. Vincent was tipped off to expect us.
What do you mean I was tipped off? I got nothing to be tipped off about, see? I'm an honest merchant. I don't like cops busting into my place like I'm a crook. Why don't you?
Just a moment,
You want to
Vincent.
look my place over for stolen property? Go ahead. But you won't find nothing.
Oh, I'm sure we won't. Now.
You won't find stolen property here ever. And no kid burglars either. You guys got a nerve busting in here. I'm an honest citizen. I don't have to stand for raids and insults from a lot of...
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, Mr. Vincent. It looks like somebody was talking through his hat.
You bet he was.
Tony Sloan doesn't talk through his hat, Inspector. I tell you, this raid was tipped off.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Tony's too good a reporter to give us a false lead.
Says you.
Now, Vincent.
I ought to suck him one for this.
Relax, pal.
Relax, nothing. What about my reputation? What about...
Take it easy. It was a mistake, and we're sorry. Now, forget it. Come on, Kent. Healy, let's get back to the car.
I can't understand this, Inspector.
Well, I can. Just another example of how a trigger-happy reporter can parlay a phony tip into a lot of trouble for the police. Come on. Get in the car and let's go.
I'm going to have a look around.
For what? You saw there was nothing doing in Vincent's shop.
Yes, but I'm convinced somebody tipped him off.
Rubbish. Who could have tipped him off when only you people at the Planet and the men in my office knew about this raid?
I don't know. But whoever it was may also have known that Tony Sloan was to meet us here with the evidence against Higgins in his pocket.
And you think they grabbed him?
I'm afraid of that.
Go on your way off the base. Higgins is a bad boy, I know that. But I'm sure he wouldn't get mixed up with any strong-arm stuff. Not now, anyhow.
Well, maybe he wouldn't, but I wouldn't put it past Vincent, his partner.
Look, fella, the only thing you know about Vincent is what Tony Sloan told you. And so far, Sloan's been all wet. This story about Vincent's clubroom for juvenile delinquents is a phony. That goes for the stolen goods in the pawn shop, too.
But, Inspector, somebody must have tipped him
I
off.
don't buy that tip-off angle, Kent. For my money, Sloan's been talking through his fedora.
Oh, no. You don't know Sloan, Inspector. He wouldn't...
I know all I want to know about him. And he's going to hear from me, but plenty. Are you coming with us or not?
No, I'm sticking around for a look-see.
Well, suit yourself. Headquarters, Healy, and fast. So long, Kent. And look, don't bother me anymore with crackpot yarns dreamed up by some wacky reporter.
What do you think, Inspector? Was that pawnbroker Vincent tipped? Or are them boys in the Planet giving us the merry-go-round?
How would I know? Sometimes I think those newspaper guys can cause more trouble than a pack.
That's the radio phone from headquarters. Must be for you.
Yeah. Somebody to give me the raspberry, no doubt. Henderson speaking.
Inspector, this is Clark Kent.
Kent? Hey, how did you get me on this radio phone?
I'm connected through headquarters.
Well, of all the brass-bound, nervy characters.
Listen, Inspector, listen. This is urgent.
Yes, it had better be, or...
It is, believe me. Look, you better get a dragnet out for Tony Sloan right away.
Yeah, that'll be a pleasure. I'd sure like to get
No,
my...
listen, Inspector. Tony did come to meet us tonight like he said he would.
What?
But whoever wanted that incriminating evidence he dug up on Martin Higgins got him before he had a chance to contact us.
Hey, look. Is this still that same hunch you had before?
This is no hunch. This is a fact.
What makes you so sure, Kent?
Well, in snooping around in an alley across the street from Vincent's store, I found signs of a struggle.
Huh?
And on the same spot, I found a wallet with the name Tony Sloan stamped on it.
Uh-huh.
Is that enough evidence to convince you?
You bet it is. I'll get headquarters hopping on this right away.
We'll be back in a moment for the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Say, gang, no up and atom, fellow or girl, wants to miss anything these days. No, sir. So don't you miss trying this week's Pep Dish of the Week. It's called a Pep Jamboree, and it's a real frolic of flavor and fun. The makers of Kellogg's Pep dreamed it up, and Kellogg's Pep gives it that special something that gives your appetite the go-ahead signal. Now, here's how to make a Pep Jamboree. You top your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal, with mixed fruit cocktail, some of the sweet syrup, too. Pour on milk, and have yourself a jamboree of smooth eating. When you dig down through the juicy chunks of fruit to those crisp, tender flakes of Kellogg's Pep, boy, what a treat. That sparkling sunshine flavor really seems to rise and shine. Of course, Pep always tastes delicious, so you want to polish off every last bit in your bowl. And you know, that's mighty important, especially nowadays when the cereal grains are being sent to fellas and girls all around the world. So, gang, don't waste cereal. When Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make sure there's no waste at your house. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. Get Hep to Pep, gang. Eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
After reporting to Inspector Henderson his discovery of Tony Sloane's wallet near the signs of a scuffle in a dark alley, Kent returned to the scene to continue his investigation. There, his keen eyes found another, even more startling clue.
Hey, what's this? Faint footsteps leading away from these scuffle marks. Oh, looks like somebody was being dragged, too. Let's see where they go. Oh, they end right here around the corner. Hey, no wonder whoever grabbed Tony had a car waiting. Sure, there are the tire marks. Faint but clear enough for my eyes. Uh-oh, police siren. That must be Inspector Henderson's men coming to have a look at these clues. Something tells me I'd better not wait for them. No telling what might be happening to Tony while we stand here and gab.
So this is where Superman takes over. Off with these clothes.
Changing swiftly from the guise and garb of Clark Kent to the blue and red costume of Superman, he streaks upward.
Up, and away!
Then, like a mighty bird, the Man of Steel streaks away, his keen eyes following the faint, but to him, distinct trail of tire treads below him.
Well, whoever owns that car made it easy to follow. With those crisscross treads on his right front wheel and the suction cup tread on the left. Wait a minute, can they be... Yes, they're leading to the river. And they stop there. Down to that waterfront. Down! Now, let's see. Car stopped here. Two men got out. Then went back in again and drove away. Great Scott, they must have thrown Tony into the river. Am I too late? Looking several minutes and still find no sign of Tony. If he were in the river, I should have seen him by now. Surely the tide couldn't have carried him further than this. But if they didn't throw him in, what could they have done with him? Well, guessing won't help. The only thing to do is to go back to the city, pick up those tire tracks again, and hope for the best. Away!
Reversing his direction, Superman streaks back upriver toward the lights of Metropolis to begin anew his search for Tony Sloane. But unseen by the Man of Steel, the object of his search lies still and apparently lifeless in shallow, brackish water, hidden in the inky darkness under an abandoned loading dock. Then, suddenly, for a split second, a reflected gleam of light from a passing tugboat falls eerily on the white face of the half-submerged man as Superman rockets by. His keen eye attracted, the red and blue-clad figure stops for a moment, hangs poised in midair.
Wait a minute, what's that? Could it be? Yes, it's a body. The body of a man. Down! It's Tony. Unconscious, but still alive, thank heaven. Tear these ropes off first. There we are. Now to get him to a doctor in a hurry. Up, and away!
Now, look here, Tony. I'd feel a lot better if you'd spend the night in the hospital.
Well, thanks for being concerned, Chief, but I'm okay. The doctor told me to go home, take a hot bath, and get a good night's sleep. And in the morning, I'll be good as new.
All right. Do as you please.
Before we leave, Tony, can you tell us what happened?
Well, sure. Here's the story. I got down to Al Vincent's pawn shop a little before 9 o'clock, the time set to raid the place. Because I wanted to be there when you arrived with the police, Kent.
I see.
I was waiting in an alley across the street when suddenly 3 men came along out of the shadows. One of them asked me if I'm Tony Sloan. I said yes. One of them slugged me. And that's all I remember until I woke up on the floor of a fast-moving car.
Good heavens.
Rats. You think you'd know any of those thugs if you saw them again?
I don't think so, Kent. It was too dark to see what they looked like. But I did hear them talking, and I heard enough to learn who hired them to wipe me out.
You did? Who was it, Tony?
Al Vincent, the pawnbroker.
You mean the one who was raided tonight?
That's right.
Are you sure of that? Did you actually hear them speak of Vincent?
Well, not exactly. That is, what I heard was one of the men saying something about being anxious to get his hands on the $100 a man named Al was going to give him for this job.
A man named Al?
Well, what does that prove? There are hundreds of men named Al.
I know that, but as I told you, I also know for a fact that Al Vincent is Higgins' partner.
In what way, Tony?
Well, Vincent encourages juvenile delinquency, baiting underprivileged kids with the lure of easy money. He teaches them to steal and disposes of their stolen goods. Then he splits the take with Higgins.
Well, Tony, we couldn't find any proof of that when we raided his place tonight.
I know, but it's obvious that somebody tipped him off about the raid. One of the mugs who got me mentioned somebody named Chicky who put the finger on me.
Chicky? Who could that be?
Search me.
Well, it doesn't matter much now anyway. Without the Higgins letters to prove what we know about him, I'm afraid we're sponsoring a lost cause.
Yes, Lois, I'm afraid you're right.
Nothing doing. We've got to fight this thing through, letters or no letters.
Hey, wait a minute. What do you mean by that?
Well, without the letters...
We've still got the Higgins letters.
What? Are you
What
kidding?
do you mean, Tony?
I was afraid something like this might happen. So I put a fat envelope in my pocket labeled Higgins Correspondent. Actually, the envelope held nothing more than blank paper. And that's what those mugs got.
Well,
Why,
good work, Tony.
that is
The real letters
wonderful.
are in the mail now, addressed to you at the office, Chief. They should arrive in the first delivery tomorrow morning.
Well, I take my hat off to you, Tony. That was the smartest piece of work I've seen in a long time.
That goes double for me, my boy. And when this election is over, you'll find a nice bonus in your envelope.
Thanks, boss.
Oh, I'd give a lot to have seen the faces on those gangsters when they opened the envelope to find it empty.
I'd give a lot more to see Mr. Al Vincent's face when he finds out how Tony fooled him.
At the very moment when our friends are enjoying a laugh at his expense, Al Vincent, his swarthy face purple with rage, vents his wrath on a pair of unhappy thugs who squirm uncomfortably in the back room of Vincent's pawn shop.
You stupid dopes, dumb jakes that you are.
But look, boss, we thought these was the Higgins letters.
You thought? With what? If you wasn't so stupid, you'd have brought that Sloan character to me, and I'd have found out what he'd done with the real letters.
Oh, well, I guess maybe we just didn't think fast enough, huh, boss?
You guess you didn't. Why, you whacked up apes. I ought to have the Perrier tossed in after Sloan. Go on, get out of my sight before I lose my temper. Okay,
we're going, but look, what about the payoff?
Payoff? I'm paying you off with your lives. Now beat it out of that back door. I'll change my...
Okay, we're going. Come on, Twitch.
Of all the bird-brained jakes, I had to pick them two. This has got to work. If it don't, Higgins' chances ain't worth a plugged nickel. And if he ain't elected mayor, I'm out of business. In more ways than one.
Hello?
Yep, Higgins and me.
Hello?
Chicky,
Yeah, who's this?
this is Al. Come on over to my shop right away.
No, I
Don't
gotta...
give me that store routine, kid. Do like I say. Come on over and don't waste no time.
You see, Chicky? This guy Sloan was too smart to get grabbed with them letters on him. Now we got to find out what he done with them. And that's where you
Now,
come
wait a
in.
minute, Ella. I don't want to have no more to do with this.
Are you kidding?
No. Now, this has gone further than I thought it would. You didn't tell me you was going to kill it.
Look, Chicky, I don't have to tell you no more than I want to say. Besides, you're in it now, up to your teeth, whether you like it or not, see?
No, Ella, I
You
don't...
want to get turned into the cops for a juvenile delinquent?
No.
You want to get
No,
sent to a reformatory or maybe even to the big house for being what they call an accomplice
Oh,
to
no.
murder?
No, I don't want to...
Then pull yourself together and work with me. Because the only thing that can help you is electing Higgins mayor. If he gets in office, he'll protect you and me and the others. And if them letters get printed in the Daily Planet, he ain't got a chance. And neither do you. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, stop blubbering and listen.
We'll return in a moment for the suspenseful climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Well, here it is, gang.
Monday's the day we bring out a brand new pep dish of the week. So get set for a nifty dish that'll dress up breakfast like anything. And here it is. It's called Date Bait. Yes, sir, this week's pep dish of the week is Date Bait. And it's a slick dish for breakfast, believe me. Here's how it goes. You put a layer of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal, in the bottom of your bowl. Scatter the top with a few pieces of dates, cut into fairly small pieces. Then another layer of Pep, more dates, and on up until you're ready to add milk and pitch in. That's Date Bait, this week's pep dish of the week. And it sure does bait your appetite first thing in the morning, because those tender, crisp flakes of Kellogg's Pep are full up with sunny, golden toasted flavor. Why, you'll want to polish off every last bit in your bowl, which is certainly the right idea, particularly nowadays when the cereal grains are being sent to fellows and girls overseas. Remember that when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. Don't waste it. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. And say, keep an eye on your younger brothers and sisters, too. Make sure to eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Employing intimidation through threat of exposure, a method common to those who develop and use juvenile delinquents to perform and take the blame for their dirty work, Al Vincent has retained his hold over Mary Hennig, a young hoodlum also known as Chickie. Now, frightened, she listens as Vincent tells her what he wants her to do.
This Sloan character must have put them letters in a pretty safe place. And I figure he told the people on the planet just what he wants done with them. What I want you to do, Chickie, is find out where they are.
But how, Al? Who do you think would tell me?
That Lois Lane dame. She's a big shot there. She'd know.
Maybe she would.
All right, so you got to figure a way to make her spill. Look, you put it over on her once and you can do it again. You got to do it. Tonight.
Tonight? But why
We
then...
got no time to waste. Come on, I'll drive you over to her apartment. You'll go up and give her some kind of a yarn about being worried over something in the office and get her talking.
Well, okay, I'll try it. But what if she won't spill?
If she won't spill to you, she'll talk for me. I got ways of making her. Know what I mean?
As Mary Hennig, alias Chickie, leaves with Al Vincent to pay Lois Lane a visit, the girl reporter seated in Clark Kent's car in front of her apartment has been heatedly defending the young hoodlum against Kent's suspicions.
What's more, I think it's small and unfair for you to suspect even for 1 minute that a sweet child like Mary Hennig could tip off the raid.
Well, now, forget your feminine emotions for a minute, Lois, and be sensible. Outside of the police, only you, the chief, Mary, and I knew about the raid and the appointment with Tony to pick up the letters.
Clark, you haven't...
You didn't tip Vincent, did you? Do you think the chief or I did?
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Clark.
Well, all right. That leaves only Mary Hennig, a kid about whom we know little or nothing except that she was in your journalism class at the settlement. Isn't it reasonable, then, to suspect
no,
that she
it
may
is
have...
not reasonable.
Well,
I am convinced that Mary's as blameless as we are.
Now, look,
and I refuse to discuss this any further.
But wait, Lois.
Good night, Mr. Kent.
Lois!
Ray's still there in his car, ain't she?
Yeah. Lucky thing we saw them before we pulled up to the joint.
Yes, sure is. What time is it, Al?
1 o'clock.
Gee, it's late. Wonder what they're talking about at this hour.
I don't know. Maybe about Sloan disappearing.
Don't say it, Al.
What's the matter, Chickie? Ain't you got no guts?
Not for murder, I ain't. I didn't mind so much doing stealing and spying jobs with the other kids for you, but I didn't count on getting mixed up with no killing.
Forget it. It's done now, and you're in it with the rest of us.
But,
there ain't no buts. If we get caught, you're a cinch for a long stretch. Maybe even the hot seat.
No, they can't do nothing to me. I didn't do it. I didn't even see Sloan.
But you put the finger on him. Don't forget that.
Oh, why did I ever get mixed up with stuff like this? Why didn't I listen to my mother and sister?
Cut your blubbering. This ain't no time to think of that. It's too late.
I know.
All right. So now you know you got to stop at nothing to get them Higgins letters away from that newspaper. Because if you don't, Higgins' chances for election is washed up. And without him, we ain't got no protection. Get that?
Yeah, I get it. But look...
Hey, wait. She's getting out of the car. See?
Yeah.
And there goes that Kent guy. Okay, Chickie, go do your stuff. I'll be waiting at the pawn shop to hear from you.
What are you doing here at this hour?
Oh, excuse me for bothering you, Miss Lane, but I was just so worried I had to see you.
Worried? What about, Mary?
Oh, about you. You see, I've been calling you on the telephone all evening.
Why? What's the matter?
Well, I was afraid maybe something had happened to you.
Well, I don't understand.
You see, I heard about that raid that was going to be made on the pawn shop tonight, and I was afraid you'd gone along and that there was trouble, maybe.
Oh, you mean that you came all the way uptown alone at this time of the night because you were worried about me?
Yes.
Oh.
You see, it's just that Well, nobody's ever been as nice to me as you have. You got me a job on the paper so that I could help my family and everything.
Now, you stop talking like that. Gee, I'd like to ask you up to my apartment, but it's so late and we both need a good night's sleep.
Okay, but, did everything work out? I mean...
Yes, everything's fine, thanks, Mary. There really wasn't any cause for your concern. You see, something important came up which made it necessary for Mr. White, Mr. Kent, and me to see Tony Sloan.
Tony Sloan?
Yes.
You mean they found...
What's the matter, Mary?
Nothing. Only, isn't he the one who found the letters about Martin Higgins?
Yes, that's right.
Then that is, the Daily Planet has the letters.
Yes, Mary, we have. But they almost cost Tony his life when somebody who somehow learned he had them came within an inch of killing him.
Holy smoke. I sure am glad he got away all right.
Oh, aren't we all? And what's more, he got away with the letters that will put Mr. Higgins out of the running.
He did? Gee whiz, how?
Oh, Tony's pretty smart. He fooled his attackers by carrying a dummy package of blank papers in his pocket.
Oh, golly, how clever. What did he do with the real letters?
Oh, now that's the neatest trick of the century. Uh-huh. But it's a deep, dark secret. At least until after they're published in tomorrow's first edition of the Planet.
Oh, gee, tell me about it, please, Miss Lane.
Nothing doing, young lady. Besides, it's getting much too late
for
you
please,
to be standing...
Miss Lane.
Now, Mary...
Look, you can trust me. Besides, I am part of the Daily Planet staff now. Aren't I?
Yes, but just the same.
Oh, come on, please tell me, Miss Lane. Gee, you've got to tell me, because, well, if you don't, I bet I won't even sleep a wink tonight.
Well, I must say you're persistent and persuasive.
You mean you will tell me?
Oh, I'm afraid if I'm to get some sleep tonight, and you too, I'd better tell you, hadn't I?
Yeah. Yes, I guess you'd better. Where are the letters, Miss Lane?
Well, I still think I shouldn't give in. But, well, all right, I'll tell you this much. A man dressed in a gray, brass-buttoned uniform will deliver them to the Planet office tomorrow morning.
A man in a gray uniform?
Right. Now I think you'd...
Oh, you mean a mailman?
Now I've told you all I'm going to, young lady. I've got to call Jimmy Olsen, and it's way past the time you should be in bed.
I suppose so. Well, I'll go now, Miss Lane. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah?
Hello, Al.
Yeah. Chickie?
Uh-huh.
Well, get the dope?
Yeah, but... Well, I hated to do it. She's so swell.
Forget it. This ain't no time to go soft.
Okay. I was just thinking, that's all.
Well, cut it out. Can you talk?
Yeah, I'm in a phone booth in an all-night drugstore.
Well, be careful. Nobody ain't listening. If somebody goes into the next booth...
I know what to do. I ain't no dope.
Okay. What'd you find out? Where's them letters?
In the mail.
What?
Yeah. Sloan figured he might get grabbed, so he mailed them to the Daily Planet.
Well, I'll be...
Smart, huh?
Yeah, you can say that again. Plenty smart. And it almost worked, too.
What do you mean, almost?
Because we're smarter, see? We're going to grab them out from right under their noses.
How are we going to do that?
Easy, Chickie. You're going to get them.
Me?
Sure. You work for the Planet, don't you?
Yeah, but
Well, you're going to get to work early in the morning, before the first mail delivery comes in.
No.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be waiting for that package of letters and then snatch it before the others ever get there, see?
Oh, no, Al, I can't do it.
What?
I can't, I tell you. I'm scared. I wanted to get out of this, but you talked me into getting this dope from Miss Lane, so I done it.
So what?
So now I want out, that's what.
Are you kidding?
No, Al, honest. Miss Lane, well, she kind of makes me want to go straight.
Look, Chickie, if I was you, I'd get them silly ideas out of my head. Because we got enough on you to put you away for a long stretch in a reformatory as a juvenile delinquent, see?
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
Okay. So be smart and do like I say. Get down to the Planet office at 6:30 in the morning, when the first mail delivery comes in. Grab them letters, bring them down to me, and from then on, we'll all be sitting pretty with nothing to worry about.
Stand by for the exciting climax of today's episode, which follows in just a moment.
Say, gang, tomorrow morning, if you want to feel happy about the whole idea of a solid sort of breakfast, cast your eyes on that bowl of Kellogg's Pep. There's a fetching dish if there ever was one. Every tender, crisp flake is all golden and toasted. Piled up in your bowl, they make a sight that's mighty easy on the eyes, believe me, and so easy to take. Why, Kellogg's Pep is called the Sunshine Cereal. It's loaded with a full, sparkling sunshine flavor that gives your appetite the go-ahead every time. Makes you want to eat hearty. Kellogg's Pep is a winner for nutrition, too. Gives you solid whole wheat nourishment plus. Your mom will tell you that. So if you're hep, gang, you'll want to polish off every last spoonful of pep in your bowl. And here's another angle. Nowadays, the cereal grains are being sent to give that good grain nourishment to fellows and girls all over the world. So, you don't want to waste cereal. When Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make it your job to see that there's no waste at your house. Handle the package carefully if you pour your own Pep, and eat up every bit you pour out. Pass the word along to the rest of your family, too. Make it a habit to eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Forced to continue a criminal career under threat of exposure to the police, Mary Hennig, using her employee's pass, enters the Daily Planet building as the bank tower clock strikes the half hour after 6 in the morning. Proceeding through the deserted city room, she finds several packages of mail on a desk and is just about to go through them when suddenly...
Hey, what are you doing with that mail?
Huh?
You heard me. I said, what are you doing with that mail?
Why, I was just going to sort it.
Oh, yeah? Who are you?
I'm the new office girl. See, here's my pass.
Let's see. Mary Hennig. Oh, you're the girl Miss Lane brought in, huh?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm glad to meet you. I'm James Olson. I'm a reporter.
Oh. Well, I'm glad to meet you, too, Mr. Olson.
Oh, you can call me Jim. Everybody else does.
Gee, thanks. Golly, I'd like to get to be a reporter someday, too.
Well, work hard and stay on your toes, and, well, maybe you'll make it someday.
I sure hope so.
Incidentally, what are you doing here so early in the morning? I thought you only worked after school.
Well, there is no school today, and I thought maybe I could be useful. You know, sorting mail and stuff like that.
Oh, well, don't bother about that now.
Oh, it's no bother. Here, let me go through this.
Not now, I said. There's something very important in this mail, and I want to look for it first.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, look, you can help me carry them into the chief's office if you want to.
All right.
Then after I find the important envelope I'm looking for, you can sort out the others, okay?
Sure. You bet.
Swell. You grab those 2 packages and follow me.
I've got them. Go on. I'm right behind you. Who's that?
Huh? Who's what?
Who just come into the city room?
Sounds like it might be Mr. White and Mr. Candy.
Oh, of all the dirty breaks.
What?
Oh, nothing.
Say, what's the matter with you?
Who, me? What do you mean?
Oh, I don't know. You looked awfully funny just now.
Funny, Jim?
Yeah. Real tough. You talk tough, too.
Oh, that was only an act. You know, just for laughs.
Laughs, huh? I had a feeling that you...
That what, Jim?
Oh, just skip it.
I called Jim to check the mail, but like you, I couldn't wait to see for myself if the... Oh, there you are, Olson.
Yeah, good morning, Chief.
Jim, did you find any...
Hello, Jim.
Say, what are you doing here so early, young lady?
Yes, you're not supposed to be here till after school, Mary.
Oh, I know, sir, but... Well, there's no school today, and I thought I might be able to make myself useful.
Now, look here. I didn't get up in the middle of the night to stand here gabbing. What about that package of Higgins letters? You find it yet?
No, we were just going to go through the mail.
Well, come on, all of us. Kent, and you too, Mary.
Yes, sir.
Let's all go through this batch of mail and find the envelope.
Okay, I'll take this bunch. Here's one for you, Chief.
Here, Mary. You look through these.
All right.
Tony said he mailed them addressed to me in a long white envelope.
A long envelope?
Yeah, that's right. He mailed it about 8:30 last night, so it ought to be here. It's got to be.
Here.
Look.
Oh, no. No, this is from the bank.
Oh, Olson, don't do that to me.
I think this is it.
Where?
Well, let's see.
Yes, it is. There's a note from Tony inside, and what's more...
Huh? How do you know, Mr. Kent?
Huh? How?
Here, give me that envelope and stop acting like an idiot, Kent.
Okay, take it easy.
I'm trying to read through it. Who do you think you are, Superman?
Well, if you really want to know...
Oh, stop it. Why can't I get this confounded envelope open? There.
Are they the Higgins letters, Chief?
Now, let's see. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, they certainly are. Here, listen to this.
What?
Dear Marty, enclosed you will find a check for the 20 grand you asked for. If it helps maintain our prosperity, it will be well worth it. Here's to a successful campaign, your friend George Conroy.
George Conroy? Isn't he the slot machine king?
That's right.
Yes, and he's making a $20,000 contribution to Higgins' campaign. Oh, boy, will this look good on our page 1.
Certainly links Higgins with the racket.
And how? Boy, oh, boy, do we have him nailed now.
What's all the excitement about?
Oh, good morning, Miss Lane.
Good morning.
Morning, Lois. Look, the evidence against Higgins. All we need to smack him flatter than a postage stamp.
Oh, that's swell, Chief. Now we can... Why, Mary Hennig. I just realized that it was you who said good morning to me. What are you doing here?
Well,
never mind that now, Lois. Here, look at this. Here's a letter from the Williamson Realty Company. That's the outfit that owns all the slum tenements.
What do they say?
Oh, plenty. Listen. And in consideration of our substantial contribution, we hope for your continued support of our fight against the so-called slum clearance bill. How do you like that?
Oh, that's wonderful. When we print that one, it'll cost Mr. Higgins plenty of votes.
Who are the other letters from, Chief?
Let's see. Here's one from Earl Lake. That's the fellow who runs all the pool rooms. This one's from Mush Brown.
Mush Brown? Wow, that's a blue ribbon number.
Who's Mush Brown?
Nobody, just the man who runs the numbers racket.
No, wait, that's not all. Now, let's see. There are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 letters in all from as many unsavory characters.
All big shot racketeers.
Uh-huh. What a haul.
Enough to put Mr. Higgins where we want him.
Yes, sir. Right behind the 8 ball.
Look, Chief, let's run one of these letters with a feature story on page 1 every day.
That's exactly what I plan to do. We'll start with the Conroy letter, Kent, so knock out 2 columns to go with it right away.
You bet. Have it ready to set up in an hour.
Good. Now, Lois, I want you to do a story on juvenile delinquency in the slums to prepare our readers for the Realty Company letter we'll run tomorrow.
Okay, Chief.
Make it clear how Higgins promotes juvenile delinquency by fighting the slums clearance bill.
Right.
Include all the details. Spare nothing and no one.
You want me, Chief?
Yes, I want you to take these Higgins letters and put them in our morgue.
What? In the morgue?
That's right, in the clippings morgue.
Are you kidding, Chief?
No, I'm not kidding you, young numbskull.
But
Don't argue with me, do as I say.
Okay, you're the boss.
You bet I am. I'm the boss because I'm smarter than you are. Because I realize that anyone desperate enough to attempt murder to get these letters isn't going to stop at cracking a puny off a safe.
Oh, I get it. You figure they'd never think to look in the morgue, so...
Yeah, exactly. Now go ahead, file them under 8. Lock that file cabinet, bring the key back, and put it in the upper right-hand drawer in my desk.
Okay. But look, Chief, suppose someone has to use that file.
You tell them to come to me. If I'm not here, you'll know where to find the key. Now, you go with whoever wants it and see that they keep their hands off those letters.
Check.
Oh, I'll be glad when we have them photostated and in the hands of the DA.
Gee, so will I.
All right. Here, get going.
I'm on my way. Hey, what are you standing around here for?
Why,
Have you been here all the time, Mary?
Well, yes, sir. I thought maybe you'd have something for me to do, so
All right. Olson, go on about your business. Here, Mary, as long as you're anxious to do something, sort the rest of this mail and see that it is distributed.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's see if we can get some action around here.
Within a few hours after Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Perry White swing into action, the huge presses of the Daily Planet begin rolling with an account of Higgins' association with racketeers. The opening blast in a campaign to defeat the corrupt political powers which encouraged the development of juvenile delinquency in Metropolis. Later that day, after the Planet's first edition had been declared a sellout, Perry White is in the city room congratulating his staff on the fine job they had done when Jimmy Olsen announces an insistent caller.
I told him you were busy, Chief, but he insists he's got to see you on important official business.
Official business?
That's quite right, sir. You're Mr. Perry White, I take it.
Yes, but who are you?
Aye, sir. I'm a process server here to serve you with a summons and a suit filed by Martin Higgins against you, sir, your publisher, John W. Grayson, and members of your staff, to wit, Clark Kent and Lois Lane, co-defendants.
What's the idea?
Said suit claims $1 million damages for false and malicious slander against the plaintiff, Martin Higgins.
Wow.
Here you are, sir. Good day.
Momentarily stunned by the process service announcement of Martin Higgins' counteroffensive against them, our friends stare at each other blankly as they realize how $1 million slander suit can ruin not only the Daily Planet, but their campaign for clean government and good citizenship. What will happen? We'll know more in a moment, so stand by for the startling climax of today's episode.
Say, gang, if you want a slick dish that'll really bait your appetite tomorrow morning, try Date Bait. That's this week's Pep Dish of the Week. And it's a honey. What this dish does for breakfast. Just try it. First, you pour a layer of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal, in the bottom of your bowl. Top that with a layer of dates, cut in fairly small pieces. Then another layer of Pep, more dates, and so on until you're ready to add milk and pitch in. And that's Date Bait, this week's Pep Dish of the Week. Believe you me, those tender, crisp flakes of Kellogg's Pep are way out in front when it comes to tickling your taste. They're crunchy. They're full up with sparkling sunshine flavor. And they give you whole wheat nourishment plus. So Mom's glad when you eat up every bit of Kellogg's Pep in your bowl. What's more, nobody wants to waste cereal, especially nowadays when we're sending the cereal grains to fellows and girls overseas. Keep that in mind when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. Don't waste it. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. And say, kind of keep watch on your younger brothers and sisters, too. Remember, eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Frantic with worry, Perry White, Lois Lane, and Jim Olson feel as though the world is toppling about their ears as a result of Martin Higgins' $1 million slander suit against them. When suddenly, Kent breaks the tension by chuckling.
Hey, wait a minute. It's ridiculous for us to sit here worrying when all we have to do is present those letters and evidence of what we've said about Higgins, and the case will be thrown out of court.
Why, George, you're right, Kent.
Of course. How silly of us not to have thought of that before.
Well, come on. Let's go to the morgue where I told Jimmy to hide those letters. I'd like to have another look at them to ease my blood pressure.
Okay, I'll show you where they are. Follow me. There it is. The H file.
Imagine the nerve of that Higgins guy, pulling a stupid bluff like this.
Maybe he doesn't know we've got the letters.
Oh, he knows, all right. I'm sure of that. This is just a bluff to confuse the voters and frighten us.
Well, we'll scotch his little game right now. I'm going right over to the DA's office with these letters and...
Oh, wait a minute, Chief.
Well, what's the matter?
Jim, you sure you put those Higgins letters in this file?
Oh, sure I did, Mr. Kent. Then I locked it and put the key in the chief's desk, like he told me to.
Have you got the key, Chief?
Well, yes. Here it is, but...
What are you driving at, Clark?
You'll see in just a minute. Open the file, Chief.
All right, but for Pete's sake, Kent, I wish you wouldn't act like this. You make me nervous.
You talk like you don't think the letters are there, Mr.
Don't
Kent.
even suggest that, Jim.
Well, Chief?
Great Scott. The letters are gone. Oh, I'm afraid we're late. Finished. Done.
Now, look, Chief.
Oh, let's face it, Kent. Without those letters to back up what we said about Higgins in today's paper, we lose our fight against his election. And he's a cinch to win his slander suit against us. Paying out $1 million will just about ruin the planet. And me, too.
Oh, gee whiz.
Do you think a burglar hired by Higgins could have slipped in here and stolen the letters?
Oh, gosh, Miss Lane, how could anyone burgle a newspaper office in bright daylight?
Jim's right. This was obviously an inside job done by a Planet employee who slipped into the chief's office when he was out, took the key, stole the letters, and then put the key back in the desk drawer again so we wouldn't discover they were missing until we went to look for them.
Very neat theory, Hawkshaw, but as full of holes as a sieve.
For instance?
Well, to begin with, I've hardly been out of my office all day. Even had my lunch brought in.
Correction, please. You were out over half an hour this morning when you went downstairs for breakfast.
And you went to the art department with me to check on the How to Fight Juvenile Delinquency page. You remember?
Yes, I remember. But if anyone had gone into my office when I was out, Miss Backrack would have seen him. And she says that...
She says she didn't notice anyone go in. But then she never pays any attention to the copy boys when they run in and out of your office.
Well, that's true.
Or any familiar staff members, for that matter.
Okay. Granted, that is true. There's still one big hole in your theory, Kent.
Like what?
Well, only a few of us knew where I told Jim to hide the letters. Do you think Lois or Jim or I took them out of the file cabinet?
Well, certainly not.
All right, then. Since we don't suspect ourselves, your whole theory is cockeyed.
Not a bit. I still insist it was an inside job, and there's only one other person who was definitely on the spot whom we haven't yet discussed.
Well, who's that?
The new office girl, Mary Hennig.
Now, see here, Clark.
Hey, that's right. She was standing with us, Chief.
Uh-huh.
Now that you mention it, I do remember being surprised to find that she was sticking around.
Clark Kent, how could you be so despicable as to accuse a sweet, innocent girl like Mary of being a thief?
Now, wait a minute, Lois. Wait a minute. I haven't accused her yet. I simply included her as a suspect.
Well, how could you even do that?
Because two very strange things have happened in this office within the past 24 hours. First, Al Vincent is tipped off that his place is to be raided. Then, by a strange coincidence, some letters which affect Vincent's partner in crime mysteriously disappear.
Hey, that does seem strange. Especially since that Hennig girl was here with us when we discussed both those deals.
Well, but so what, Chief? Clark himself admitted that it was a coincidence, and I don't think it's fair to suspect her any more than any one of us.
Now, just a minute, Lois. This thing is too serious to overlook any possibilities. I think Henderson or one of his detectives should investigate Mary.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh, no, Jim. Don't you see what that would do to the poor kid?
Relax, Lois. If she's innocent, nothing will happen to her. I'd like to have a talk with her. She's still here, Jim?
She went home at 6 o'clock.
Look, Kent, maybe Lois is right. Maybe the kid's okay.
All right, if she is, I'll apologize and there'll be no harm done. But first, I'm going to have a talk with Mary Hennig at her home. I'll see you all later.
As Clark Kent leaves, determined to investigate and talk with Mary Hennig in her home, the young girl tough is with Al Vincent, the crooked pawnbroker who employs juvenile delinquents to make money for him. In response to an urgent summons from Martin Higgins, his business partner and political front, Vincent has brought Mary, also known as Chickie, to Higgins' home, an old but sumptuous brownstone house on the fringe of the tenement district.
So you're Mary Hennig, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
We call her Chickie, Marty. Chickie, you're talking to the next mayor
Not so fast, Al. Not so fast. We're in trouble again.
Well, what do you mean? I thought everything was Jake when Chickie here lifted them letters out of the planet.
That's just it. She didn't get all the letters.
What?
Are you kidding?
I wish I were.
Look, what kind of a deal are you trying to pull?
Now, wait, Chickie. That's no way to talk to the next man.
I don't care who he is. Nobody's going to tell me I didn't get all them letters because I know I did.
And I tell you didn't. There's one missing. The one from Mush Brown, the slot machine king. Thanking me for all I've done for him and mentioning a $25,000 contribution to my campaign fund.
Hey, that's bad.
Yeah, it's worse than you think. If that letter is still in the Daily Planet's possession, my $1 million lawsuit is all washed up. Because I can't prove slander.
And how?
Yeah, and what's more, my chances for election are, well, they're sunk.
Hey, how do you know you didn't lose that letter?
You got a lot of nerve saying that?
Well, all I know
you
is that
stupid little punk. I ought to knock your teeth out for messing up this job.
Hold it, Al, hold it. Maybe Chickie's telling the truth when she says she got all the letters. Yeah, maybe you're holding one of them out on me.
What? Hey, now, wait a minute.
It'll make an awfully good instrument for blackmail. You know that the Planet could save its hide if it had that one letter. And you also know that they'd pay plenty for it. You could be figuring to double-cross me and sell it to them.
Why, you're kidding, Marty. Why, you must be kidding. Why, we're partners. We're pals. You know I wouldn't do nothing like that to you.
I think you would if you thought you could get away with it. But I also think you're too smart to try it, because, you know, if I really thought you did it, I'd...
Oh, cut it out, Marty. I turned over all the letters Chickie brought me. She must have forgot this one from Mush or lost it.
Don't you go passing the buck to me, you
Oh, wait
yellow...
a minute. Chickie, what did you do when you took the letters from Mr. White's safe?
I made out like I was going to lunch and met Al around the corner. I gave them to him. All of them.
All right. How did you get the letters out of Mr. White's office and out of the building?
I took some newspaper proofs into Mr. White's office, like I was sent in with them. I was watching and seen he went to the art department with Miss Lane just before. So I got the key to the file out of his desk, lifted the papers, and put them in between the proofs. Then I put the key back and went to Miss Lane's office. After that,
You could have dropped one of the letters when you were leaving Mr. White's office,
I
couldn't
didn't,
you?
or they'd have found it. When they saw the filing cabinet was empty, they tore up the whole place.
All right, go on. Now, you say you went to Miss Lane's office.
Yeah,
Just what did you do there? Come on, try to remember everything.
I remember. I snitched a big envelope out of her desk and went in a closet where she told me I could hang my coat. I put the letters in the envelope and slipped it under my coat.
Is it possible that you might have dropped one of the letters in Miss Lane's closet, Chickie, when you were putting them in the envelope?
Yeah, how about that, Chickie? Think one of them could have dropped out when you were shoving the batch of them into your coat?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Don't think so. You gotta make sure.
How can I?
Only one way, stupid. Go back to the Planet and take a gander in that closet.
Oh, look, Al, I can't...
Go on, do like I say, or I'll turn you over to the cops.
Okay. I'll go right now.
Yeah?
Al, this is Chickie.
Well?
Listen, I'm calling from the Planet.
Yeah.
I found the letter.
Swell.
It was in the closet where I must have dropped it.
Okay, hustle it over to Higgins' house, fast.
Yeah, I'm leaving right now.
Oh, no, you're not.
Miss Lane.
I heard your conversation, Mary.
Stay away from me, Miss Lane.
I'm wise to you now. You two-faced little thief.
I warn you, Miss Lane.
You had me completely fooled.
Stand where you are and let me pass. Or so help me, I'll let you have it.
Crouched and ready to spring, Mary Hennig wraps her hand around a heavy paperweight and glowers menacingly at Lois Lane, who, shocked at suddenly learning that her protege is the thieving juvenile delinquent, stands rooted to the floor, her eyes blazing with justifiable anger. Will Chickie make good her threat? We'll know in a moment when we return for the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Say, gang, you know something that'll make you want to put on speed while you're getting ready for breakfast? It's Kellogg's Pep. Yes, sir. If you know there's a bowl of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal, waiting for you, you're likely to show up at breakfast on the double quick. Because who can resist that keen sunshine flavor? Who can put off sampling that crisp, mouth-watering tenderness? Who can delay when Kellogg's Pep is such a smooth treat? And who wants to resist Pep? Because Pep is good for you, too. Sure, gives you loads of solid whole wheat nourishment plus. So you're on the Sunbeam gang if you pitch right in and finish off every tender flake in your bowl. That's especially important nowadays, you know. It's not a good idea to waste cereal. Because the cereal grains, like the whole wheat and Kellogg's Pep, have been picked out to give that swell grain nourishment to fellas and girls all over the world. Keep that in mind when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. Make sure there's no waste at your house. If you pour your own Pep, take it easy. Pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. Tip off the rest of your family, too. Get the right habit, gang. Eat all your pep. Don't waste it.
Trapped by Lois Lane in the Daily Planet's deserted editorial offices, Mary Hennick, desperate, menaces the girl reporter with a heavy paperweight.
You better let me out of here, Miss Lane.
Oh, no. Not since I know now that Clark was right. It was you who tipped off Al Vincent about the raid and then stole the Higgins letters, wasn't it?
You can't prove nothing like that.
That letter in your hand, the one I heard you tell someone you came back for, is all the proof we need. Now give it to me, Mary.
Nothing doing.
I said give it to me, you nasty little
Get away
batter.
from
I'll
me.
take it. I'm going to make you pay for pulling the wool over my eyes. Now,
I warned you. I said I was going to let you have it. Oh. She's dead now. She's dead.
What are you talking about, Chicky?
Miss Lane, she's dead. But I didn't mean to kill her. Honest, I didn't mean to do it. So help me, I only...
Wait a minute. You mean you bumped her off?
Yeah, but I didn't mean to. Honest, I didn't.
Holy smokes.
It was an accident, Al. She come in when I was talking to you. She heard everything. She said I'd be arrested, and I got scared.
You
and
dumb little sap. You got us all in a jam.
I didn't mean to do it. I tell you,
Ah, shut up. Where are you?
In her office. Miss Lane, she's laying right here. You gotta help me, Al.
Stop whining. Did anyone see you do it?
No. There was just me and her.
That's a break. Did anyone see you come in the place?
The watchman and the elevator man.
Oh, that's bad.
That's why I'm afraid to go out. When they find her, they'll know I did it. You gotta tell me what to do, Al. You gotta help
I ought to let you take the rap. That's what I ought to do, you dumb kid.
Oh, no. No, you can't. I didn't mean to...
You'd spill everything. Listen now. We gotta get her out of there. And you, too. What floor are you on?
The 10th. But you can't get in. You gotta have a pass.
Don't worry about that. Now, look. Is there a lock on this office you're in?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Lock it. And stay in there till the boys come. I'll send them right over.
Trembling with terror in the belief that she is a murderess, Mary Hennick locks the door to the little office and, burying her face in her hands, cowers in a corner as far away from the inert form of Lois Lane as she can get. At the same moment, unaware of what has happened, Superman, in his guise of Clark Kent, is talking with Mary's mother in the kitchen of a shabby tenement flat. Without realizing that Kent suspects her daughter of complicity with the crooked Higgins-Vincent group, Mrs. Hennig, instinctively worried, nervously smooths her apron with red, work-roughened hands as she tries to make her guest welcome.
I hope you don't mind waiting in the kitchen, Mr. Kent.
No.
The children are asleep in the other room.
Of course I don't mind, Miss Hennig. You don't know where Mary might be, do you?
No, I don't. She should have been home by now. Could you tell me what you wanted to see her about?
Oh, it's nothing important. It's just something that came up in the office today.
I see. Tell me honestly, Mr. Kent, she didn't get into any trouble, did she?
Well, what makes you ask that?
Oh, nothing, really. I just asked. You see, living in this neighborhood makes me worry about Mary.
Has Mary been giving you cause to worry, Mrs.
Oh,
Hennig?
no. Mary's a good girl, but just the same I worry about her because all these bad kids around here, well, you know, sometimes they give good kids bad ideas.
Yes, of course.
Seems like they're nearly all bad children in this neighborhood.
Oh, most youngsters aren't really bad.
They are around here. You don't know.
Yes, I do know. They're not really bad, Mrs. Hennig. It's just that they fall into wrong ways in overcrowded tenement districts like this because there's no place for them to play except in the streets.
Yes, that's true.
Start hanging around the corner pool room and join gangs and steal and smash windows just for the excitement to let off steam.
Oh, I know all that, Mr. Kent. But what's a person to do? I'd move out of this neighborhood tomorrow if I could.
Well,
but this tenement is all I can afford, so I can't do anything.
Now, don't you worry, Mrs. Hennig. When Henry Marshall becomes mayor, he'll tear down these slums and build decent housing and parks and playgrounds and gymnasiums. That'll go far toward wiping out juvenile delinquency.
I certainly hope so.
Say, look, it's after 8:30. Mary left the office over 2 hours ago. You said she was supposed to come right home.
She was, but sometimes she just don't come right home. So if you're in a hurry, maybe you better not wait.
Well, it's important that I see her. Don't you have any idea where she goes when she doesn't come home?
No, I don't, Mr. Kent. Mary, well, she's changed lately. She used to tell me everything. Now she don't like me to ask questions. She says she's too grown up for that.
Grown up? She's only 15, isn't she?
Yes, that's all, but I can't seem to do anything with her anymore. You see, I'm not very well, and I work all day in a laundry. I don't seem to have the strength when I get home to handle her like I should.
I see.
When her father was here, it was different. But since he got tuberculosis and had to go to the sanitarium...
Sanitarium? Mary said he was dead.
Oh, no. She couldn't have said that.
Oh, yes. Well, now, wait a minute. Maybe she didn't. Maybe I'm wrong. Go on, Mrs. Hennig. You were saying something about handling Mary.
Well, I don't want you to think Mary is bad, Mr. Kent. She's really a good girl. It's just that, well, I I think she needs somebody to talk to her.
I intend to.
I'd be grateful if you'd tell her how it's wrong to stay out of school like she did again today.
What's that? Was her school open today?
Of course. I found out she stayed away again today.
Well, it's more important than ever that I talk to her now. I've got to get out and make a phone call.
But aren't you going to wait for her?
No, I've got to make this call first. There's a drugstore at the corner. I can phone from there. And look, please, don't worry, Mrs. Hennig. I'll do my best to work things out.
Work things out?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, Mr. Kent?
Well, I can't explain right now, but I'll be back later. Now, just you sit tight, and if Mary comes in, hold on to her.
Hello?
Jim, this is Mr. Kent.
Mr. Kent, hey, what happened to you? I've been waiting in this restaurant for an hour.
I'm sorry, I've been tied up. Listen, Jim, when you got to the office early this morning, you found Mary Hennig there, didn't you?
Yeah, she thought we started work at 6:30. Cheated herself out of an hour's sleep.
Uh-huh. Didn't she say there was no school today?
Uh-huh. Why?
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to be sure. Look, is Lois there?
No, she went back to the office to finish her story. She said we should pick her up on our way to police headquarters.
Oh, well, you pick her up and go over to headquarters. I'll see you there in a little while.
Oh, but look. Mr. White made a date for all of us to see Inspector Henderson at 9 o'clock.
Well,
he'll be sore as a boil if you're not there.
I can't help it, Jim. Tell him I'll be there as soon as I can, and that I may bring the person who stole the Higgins letters with me.
No kidding. Well, listen, who is it?
No time to talk now, Jim. Just do as I say. Go over to the Planet, pick up Lois, and hot-foot it to Henderson's office. I'll see you there later. So long.
Leaving the drugstore, Kent steps into a dark doorway, strips off his business suit, and stands revealed in the blue costume and red cape of Superman. Then, up, and away! Leaping high into the night sky, the Man of Steel streaks away in an effort to find Mary Hennig, not realizing that he has unwittingly sent Jim Olsen on a dangerous errand. For at the same time, in Lois Lane's office at the Daily Planet, two thugs sent by Al Vincent, one of them holding a flashlight, look into the pale, unconscious face of the girl reporter as Mary, shivering in fright, stands by, biting her nails.
Relax, Chickie. I tell you, this dame ain't dead.
Are you sure? She's so still.
She's just out cold, but good.
You must have given her wipes to put her out like this.
I didn't mean to hurt her bad. I only wanted to...
Okay, skip it.
Yeah, stop your blubbering. We gotta get out of here.
We gotta take this dame with us. Give me a hand, Louis.
Wait. Yeah. What are you taking her for?
What do you want to do? Leave her here to tell the cops what you've done, you dopey kid?
Well, no, only...
Come on. We're wasting time. Al Vincent's waiting for us.
But how are you going to get her out of here? You can't take her down in the elevator.
Yeah, we know that. We're taking her down a fire escape through the storeroom. That's how we come in. All right, come on, Louis. Grab her legs.
Wait.
Yeah.
What's Al going to do to her?
Will you stop killing time, you dumb dame? Besides, what's it to you what Al does to her?
Well, I don't want her to get hurt no more, that's all.
Hold it.
What's the matter, Louis?
I think somebody just come up in the elevator.
Miss Lane, where are you?
Oh, creepers.
Somebody looking for this Lane dame.
Know who it is, Chickie?
Yeah, it's Jim Olsen, a reporter.
Okay. Just keep quiet. We'll take care of him.
Crouching in the deep shadows of the dark office, Mary and the two thugs wait quietly as Jim Olsen, blissfully unconscious of his danger, walks through the deserted city room in search of Lois Lane. What will happen? We'll know more in a moment, so stand by for the exciting climax of this episode.
Say, gang, I just thought of something. If you haven't tried this week's Pep Dish of the Week, you'd better make a mental note right now, because you sure wouldn't want to miss out on this treat. Boy, it's regular. Here's the name, Date Bait. And here's how you make it. In your breakfast bowl, make alternate layers of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal, and dates. You know, cut into fairly small pieces. Isn't that a cinch? First Pep, then dates, then more Pep, and so on. Pour on milk, and you have this week's Pep Dish of the Week, Date Bait. It's a smooth dish that'll really bait your morning appetite, believe me. Fact is, no matter how you serve it, those tender, crisp flakes of Kellogg's Pep with their keen sunshine flavor taste so terrific you can hardly wait to pitch in and finish off every bit in your bowl. And a good thing that is, too, especially nowadays when the cereal grains are being sent to fellows and girls overseas. So, gang, don't waste cereal. When Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make it your job to see that it's not wasted. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. Pass the word along to the rest of your family, too. Remember, eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Unaware that Lois Lane lies unconscious in her office in the presence of two thugs and her attacker, Mary Hennig, Jim Olsen walks across the deserted city room calling for her.
Miss Lane. Hey, Miss Lane, where are you?
That's Jim Olsen. What'll we do if he sees us?
Shut up. Get behind this door, quick.
He's turning on lights. He'll see us.
Now, behind this door he won't. Now be quiet.
I'm scared.
Gee whiz. Miss Lane.
He's seen a dame laying there. Here he comes, Louis. Get set to let him have it. Okay, Louis. Let him have it.
Yeah. That takes care of him.
Yeah, he went out like a light.
What did you do to Jimmy?
Fixed him so he can't bother us, that's what. But we better take him along. He's seen too much. There, I got him. Now, you carry the dame, Louis.
Yeah. What's that? Let's go.
Lead the way, Chickie.
Where to?
The storeroom where the fire escape is. Go on, move.
Wait. Where are you going to take him?
Where do you suppose? Down Vincent.
Oh.
Well, come on.
What do you think he'll do to him?
How do we know?
What do you care what he does to him?
Nothing, only... Well, I don't want to get mixed up in no...
Shut up and get moving. We got to get out of here fast.
Meanwhile, unaware of what has happened to Lois and Jimmy, Editor Perry White is in the office of Police Inspector Henderson.
Inspector, you've got to find those letters. You've got to. Or Martin Higgins will win his $1 million damage suit against us. The Daily Planet will be ruined.
I realize it, but you can't expect the police to protect you from that.
All right, then. Oh, I'm hoarse now from trying to sell you from that angle. And I'll look at it this way. If those letters aren't recovered, Higgins will very likely be elected mayor. Now, you don't want to see that happen, do you?
Personally, no. But my job has nothing to do with politics, Mr. White.
Who's talking about politics? This thing goes beyond politics. I told you those letters prove that Higgins does business with criminals, that he's pledged to kill the slum clearance bill.
I know.
Do I have to remind you that those rat-trap tenements in the slums are the breeding place of juvenile delinquency?
If you'll listen a moment...
Do I have to remind you, the police inspector, that juvenile delinquency is the number one problem in this country? Do you want a mayor who takes bribes from the rats who promote it?
Now, look, Mr. White, I know my duty. You can skip the soapbox orations.
Soapbox orations? What were you...
Now, look, you've already lost your voice,
Oh.
and losing your temper won't help either. I told you we're doing everything possible to recover the letters. My men are investigating the members of your staff right now.
My staff? Well, what's the idea?
Because the thief must be a member of your staff.
Oh, nonsense. My people have been with me for years. I know all of them. They're not thieves.
Well, one of them must be. By your own admission, you were in the city room when you told Jim Olson to put the letters in a certain file in the clipping morgue and put the key in your desk. There are thousands of files there. No outsider could have known where to look.
Oh.
One of your employees overheard
Oh,
you...
nonsense, I say.
No, it isn't nonsense.
What? Who said that?
I did, Chief. Hello, Inspector.
Hi, Ken.
Oh, it's you, Kent. Now, where have you been?
Hey, what's the matter with your voice? A cold?
Oh, never mind. Now, look. You've got to help me knock some sense into Henderson's head. He's wasting time investigating the Planet staff while whoever stole the letters gets away.
Well, a member of the staff must have stolen them, Chief.
What? You two?
No one else could have known where they were.
That's what I've been trying to tell him.
Oh, baloney. One of Higgins's spies might have been in the city room and overheard me. It's a big place and lots of people were around.
A stranger wouldn't have been permitted into the clipping morgue, nor into your office to get the key to the file out of your desk.
But...
No, Chief. No, the thief was known to be a member of the staff, so her movements weren't questioned, or even noticed.
Her? You know it was a woman, Kent?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I know who did it, Inspector.
Well, who?
I want Lois to hear this. We need her help. Where is she, Chief?
How do I know? And what do you need her for?
Well, we do need her. Where'd she go from here?
She wasn't here.
She wasn't? Why, I spoke to Jim some time ago. He was going to pick up Lois at the Planet and come right over.
Neither Miss Lane nor Jim were here tonight, Kent.
But listen, strange. Did they phone?
No, they didn't. And never mind them right now. You say you know who stole the letters?
Well, that can wait. Right now I'm worried about Lois and Jim. They should have been here to keep an appointment with me. Besides, I told Jim I might bring the guilty person with me. They wouldn't have missed that.
No, stop worrying. Stop worrying. Something else must have come up. Now, look.
Just a moment, Chief. Wait a minute. May I use your phone, Inspector?
Go right ahead.
Thanks.
Blast it, Kent. Will you stop stalling and tell us what you know?
Huh? Oh, you want the name of the thief?
No. I want the name of your barber.
Barber?
Confound it. If you don't start talking,
Easy. Here it is. I'm pretty sure the thief is Mary Hennig.
What?
Mary who?
Mary Hennig.
Well, who's she?
The youngster we just hired. 15-year-old girl who...
Kent, are you out of your mind?
Well, not at all.
Just who is this girl, Kent?
Well, she's a nice youngster. Friend of Lois's. She had no more stolen letters than I did.
Nobody answers at the Planet.
No, of course not. Everyone went home hours ago. Who are you calling now?
Lois's apartment.
Why do you suspect this Hennig girl, Kent?
Well, I became suspicious of her last night, Inspector, after the raid on Al Vincent's pawn shop had been tipped off. See, she was in the office with Mr. White, Lois, Jim, and me when we were discussing it. And nobody else knew about it. Now,
the police knew about it. The leak might have come from there.
Now, look, Mr. White, I don't like that.
Skip it, Inspector, skip it. I was about to say we knew that Vincent's pawn shop is a hangout for juvenile delinquents where he teaches them to steal and then buys the stolen stuff from them. Now, my hunch is that
this Henny girl is a juvenile delinquent working for Vincent and Higgins, eh?
Exactly.
Nonsense. Lois doesn't take juvenile delinquents for friends.
Well, Lois was fooled just the way the rest of us were. I just want to ask her one question. That'll prove whether I'm right or wrong.
Well, where are you going to find her?
I don't know. She's apparently not at her apartment either. I don't like this. Where is she and where's Jim?
Oh, don't worry about them. They're not babies.
Well,
now,
I
listen.
am worried. I'm going to look for them. I'll see you later.
We'll be back in a moment for the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Say, clear the decks for action, gang. Here comes this week's Pep Dish of the Week. And it's a surefire way to make your appetite wake up and take action come breakfast time. You ready? Here's the new Pep Dish of the Week. Black Raspberry Ringer. And here's how you make it. You start off with your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal. Then take plump, juicy black raspberries and make a ring of them on top, right around the edge of your bowl. Add milk and sugar and pitch into your Black Raspberry Ringer. Sure does ring the bell with your morning appetite. Pep does the trick, Kellogg's Pep tastes so sunny and golden and terrific, it's a natural for a breakfast treat any day in the week. Pep's tender crispness teams up swell with those juicy berries, too. Makes a dish that you'll want to concentrate on until you've polished off every last spoonful. And that's one way to keep from wasting Pep. And another way is to pour it out carefully. You see, nowadays, the cereal grains are being sent to fellows and girls all over the world. Keep that in mind when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. Don't waste it. And say, kind of keep an eye on your younger brothers and sisters, too. Tell everybody in your family, eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Worried when Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen failed to appear at police headquarters, Clark Kent, who, as we know, is Superman, went to the Daily Planet to search for them. But Lois and Jimmy are now in a basement room of a shabby tenement building guarded by Al Vincent's henchmen, Steve and Louie. In a room of the apartment above, Al Vincent is questioning Mary Hennig.
You sure nobody seen you when you came down a fire escape at the Planet, Chickie?
No, it was dark and the fire escape's in the alley. But listen, Al,
Well, you done a good job getting all the letters, kid. You almost balled it up socking that dame. But you see, I took care of you. It's like I told you, kid. While you're working with me, you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, but
Well, we sitting pretty. Marty Higgins will collect a lot of dough from the Daily Planet, put them out of business so they can't bother him no more, and be elected mayor, too. Oh, then we'll be sitting on top of the world, Chickie.
Sure, but how about Lois Lane and Jim Olsen? What are you going to do to them?
I'll take care of them. Don't worry.
What do you mean you'll take care of them?
Don't worry, I tell you. I got a little scheme dreamed up to get rid of them and make it look like they had a little accident.
You mean you're going to kill him?
Who, me? No. I said they were going to have an accident.
Oh, you can't. That'll be murder.
So what? Marty Higgins and I don't play for peanuts. There's big dough on the line here. Big dough. Those two just happen to be in our way. So we put them out of the way, that's all.
But I told you I don't want to get mixed up in no murder.
You told me.
Yeah. Besides, I like Miss Lane. She was good to me. She's okay.
She was good to you. Why, you dopey kid. Don't you know that if you hadn't slugged her tonight, she'd have had you in the clink by now?
I don't care. You can't kill her, Al.
Be smart, you little sap. Don't you realize if we don't get rid of her, you'll do a long stretch? Or maybe even go to the chair.
The chair? Me?
Yeah, you. You helped kidnap her tonight, and the Olsen kid, too. Kidnappers get the chair in this state, baby, see?
But I didn't mean to do nothing except steal the letters. I didn't want to get mixed up in...
Try telling that to the judge and see how far you get. You're in this up to your neck, Chickie, and the only way you can save your neck is by playing ball with me. If you do that, you got nothing to worry about. But the minute you get any other ideas, remember, there's a hot seat waiting for you.
Say you brought Miss Lane up here about 8 o'clock, Mike?
That's right, Mr. Kent. And I brought young Jim Olsen up maybe half or three-quarters of an hour later.
You sure you didn't take them down again?
I'm positive. I didn't take anybody down tonight.
But you must have. Miss Lane and Jim aren't here.
Just a moment, Chief. Was any other elevator in the building running after 8 o'clock, Mike?
No, sir, just mine. I'm on duty from 7:30 to midnight. Then I go home, and the watchman takes over my car.
Something's crazy, Kent. If Mike's was the only elevator running and Lois and Jim didn't go down in it, how did they leave here?
I
suppose they could have used the stairs.
No, they couldn't have used the stairs. The stair hall doors are locked at night.
Then how did they get out?
You forget that for a minute, Chief. Take a look over here in Lois's office.
Oh, what do you expect to find in Lois's office?
See for yourself. Now, wait till I put the light on. There. Notice anything, Chief?
No. What's there to notice?
The furniture is placed differently.
It is?
Sure. This small chair always stands by the window, and this armchair next to the desk.
So what? Maybe the porter moved the stuff when he was cleaning.
The porter doesn't get to this floor yet.
So what? Then Lois moved the stuff herself. You know how women are. They're always changing things around.
Look, the furniture was in its usual position at 6 o'clock this evening. And Lois came back after dinner to write a story, not to move furniture. She was in a hurry, too. She was to meet us in Inspector Henderson's office at 9.
What are you driving at, Kent?
Just this, Chief. I think something happened in this office tonight, and someone moved the furniture back afterwards to make it look as if nothing had happened. Only whoever it was didn't move it back to its right place.
Huh?
No, wait a minute, Kent.
Hold it, Chief. I just noticed something else.
Yeah? What?
On the floor here behind the window drape. Look. This is interesting.
What is it?
Looks like a metal paperweight. And heavy, too.
I never saw that on Lois's desk before.
Neither did I. And it would make a pretty weapon, don't you think so?
It sure would. I'd hate to get hit with it.
I think someone did get hit with it tonight.
Now, who would get beamed with a paperweight here?
Lois, maybe? Or Jim?
What? Are you out of your mind?
No, wait, Chief. Look, Mike.
Yeah?
Did you take anyone other than Miss Lane or Jim Olson up here tonight?
Let me see now. No.
You see, Kent?
Wait a minute. Come to think of it, I did bring up somebody else.
You did?
It was when I first come on duty.
Who was it, Mike?
A young kid, a girl.
A girl? Oh, you know who she was?
Her name was on her employee's pass, but I just remember what it was.
Could it be Mary Hennig?
Yeah, that's it. And I didn't take her down, either.
What's she doing up here after hours?
What I think is that Lois came up here and found Mary snooping around. Maybe Mary had somebody else with her.
Oh, forget it. Mike just told us he brought up no one else.
Well, that's nothing. Someone may have come up the fire escape. Someone who works with Mary.
Well, what are you talking about? Works with Mary on what?
Look, Chief, whether you believe it or not, I still think Mary stole those Higgins letters.
Well, if that's true, it would be pretty stupid for her to come back here to the scene of her crime.
Not if she hid them here someplace because she was afraid to try to get out with them earlier today, during all the excitement that followed their disappearance. Well, with no one here to watch her, it would be a cinch to pick them up and take them away.
That much makes sense, I suppose. But why are you so dead certain Mary's the thief?
For a number of reasons, all bound up by circumstantial evidence, which I pointed out to you before.
Well, you don't want to hang a person on circumstantial evidence, do you? Particularly when all the things you mentioned may have been nothing more than coincidence.
Coincidence? Oh, now, look, it's no coincidence that Al Vincent, a man known to make thieves of kids for his own profit, was tipped off when his place was to be raided. And it's no coincidence that Vincent is Martin Higgins' partner. And that Mary Hennig, who was present when we planned the raid, was also present when you told Jim where to hide the Higgins letters.
I don't know.
And when those letters disappeared a short while later, you could hardly call that a coincidence, could you?
Does seem peculiar, but just the same, confound it, I find it hard to believe that a nice kid like Mary Hennig could be hired to steal from us.
Well, I'll prove it to you before long, Chief.
We'll see. Now, what do you suppose happened to Lois and Jim? I hope you don't think that kid dragged them off someplace.
That's exactly what I do think.
What?
Oh, she didn't do it alone. I'm sure she had help.
But who? Why?
Well, I don't know who exactly. Though I'm sure Higgins and Vincent are behind it. But the reason's fairly obvious. Lois and Jim must have been here when Mary arrived and caught her red-handed. Then, because they knew too much, they were taken away.
Great Scott, if that's true...
Then this is a job for Superman.
No, we can't wait to contact Superman, Kent. We've got to get the police on this immediately. I'll get Henderson on the phone right away.
Okay, Chief. Meanwhile, I'll do some snooping on my own.
No, Kent, wait. You'll get into trouble.
Don't you worry about me. Just hope I'm not too late to keep Lois and Jim out of trouble. This is a good spot to change to, Superman. Out of these clothes. And fast. Because something tells me that this is the time for speed. There we are. Now, if only I can find Al Vincent, I'm sure I can find Lois and Jim. Up, and away!
Oh, my head. How do you feel, Miss Lane?
Oh, as though a house had fallen on me, Jim. Where are we?
It's too dark to see. It feels and smells like a damp cellar.
In the slums somewhere, probably.
Yeah, I guess so. Doesn't matter much, though. We're in a pretty bad spot any way you look at it.
We certainly are. Thanks to that awful Mary Hennig. Oh, when I think of how she fooled me by acting like such a nice, unfortunate kid, I could kick myself.
Oh, you couldn't help it, Miss Lane. She did put on a swell act.
Perfect. Two-timing little brat.
Now, take it easy, Miss Lane. Being mad at Mary isn't going to get us out of this.
Oh, I know. I'm afraid anything may happen now that we're in Al Vincent's hands. Well, that man's poison, Jim. I don't think he'd stop at anything.
Oh, gee whiz, you don't think he'd really do anything... Well, anything really serious to us, do you?
Well, he didn't hesitate to have Tony Sloan thrown in the river, did he?
Yeah, I know, but...
Now that we know that Mary Hennig stole the Higgins letters for him, it hardly seems logical to expect that he'll just let us walk away from here, does it?
No, I guess not.
Oh, if I could just get my hands on Mary Hennig. When I think of how that little thief pulled the wool
forget
over my
that,
eyes,
Miss
I
Lane.
could just...
Look, right now we got to concentrate on how to get out of here.
It seems impossible, Jim. There's only one door, and that's plenty secure.
That's right, but just the same,
Quiet, Jim.
What's the matter? Listen. Sounds like somebody unlocking the door.
Right. But what puzzles me is why whoever it is being so quiet and cautious about it.
It does seem funny, doesn't it?
Stand that, Jim. It's opening.
Jeepers. Look who it is.
Their eyes wide with surprise, Lois Lane and Jim Olsen stare at a figure which, dimly illuminated by the light of a lantern, stands framed in the open doorway. Who is it? We'll know in a moment, so stand by for the exciting climax of today's episode.
Say, gang, when I say that Kellogg's Pep is as terrific a breakfast dish as you'd ever want to taste, I mean it's terrific. Why, who could ask for more tender crispness, more sunny golden toasted flavor? You see, Pep is called the Sunshine Cereal, and it's loaded to the brim with sparkling sunshine flavor. Yes, sir, Kellogg's Pep sure is on the sunbeam when it comes to snappy eating. Looks good in your bowl, all delicate and golden. And does it taste good? Why, it's practically irresistible. And Pep is good for you. Sure, your mom knows that. Gives you solid whole wheat nourishment and more. To sum it all up, gang, Kellogg's Pep is a honey of a treat come breakfast time. You can hardly wait to pitch in and finish off every toasted spoonful in your bowl. And that's the thing to do, you know, because the cereal grains have been picked out to help give good nourishment to fellows and girls overseas. So you certainly don't want to waste cereal. Remember that when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. Don't waste it. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and polish off every bit you pour out. Always make sure to eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Prisoners of Al Vincent in the basement room of an old tenement building in the metropolis slums, Lois Lane and Jim Olsen were discussing their seemingly hopeless predicament when suddenly the door of their prison was softly unlocked and cautiously opened.
Well, jeepers, Miss Lane. Look who it is.
What? It's Mary Hennig. What do you want now, you lying little...
Please, Miss Lane, don't. I'm sorry, honest, I am.
Oh, I'll bet you are.
I am honest. I couldn't help it.
Oh, don't give me that stuff.
It's true, so help me. Vincent made me do it.
You'll have to make up a better story than that to get me to believe you again, Mary.
I'll tell you everything, Miss Lane, but not now. There's no time if you want to get out of here.
What?
Don't talk, just follow me.
Are you kidding?
You don't think we're going to fall for this gag, do you, Mary?
This is no gag.
What
Honest,
do you
I
take
want
us for? A couple of dopes?
No, listen. There's not much time.
We're not buying any more of your lies, Mary Hennig. Now get out of here.
Oh, look, you got to listen to me and do like I say.
Now,
you got to trust me. Follow me before Vincent gets a chance to do what he...
Hey, who's that talking down there?
Oh, creep. Who's that? Steve. He's one of Vincent's trigger men.
That you down there, Chickie?
Chickie? Yeah, that's me.
Look, Miss Lane, maybe we better follow her.
Okay. You ain't talking. I'll come down and have a look for myself.
Good heavens. What can we do?
I don't know. I'm afraid it's too late to do anything. That's Steve, one of Vincent's gorillas.
How does he know you're down here?
He doesn't. But if he finds me here, we're all sunk.
Good heavens. What do we do?
Oh, relax, Miss Lane. I think this is just another one of Mary's tricks.
No, this ain't a trick, I swear it ain't.
Now, look, Mary...
You gotta listen to me. You gotta.
Chickie, you down here?
Chickie? Who's that?
That's me.
Holy smoke.
Hey, Chickie.
He's coming closer. We better get ready to do something in case
Chickie,
he gets
you
off.
little rat, if you're down here, you better talk up.
Look, Mary, you got something I can beat him with?
No, that won't help, Jim. It'll only bring the others.
Listen, I got an idea. Bang on the door, Miss Lane.
What?
Well, what good's that gonna...
Quick, do like I say. Bang hard and holler like you want to get out of here. Go on.
If I find you down here, Chickie,
But
I'll
I don't
beat
too
your
late.
brains.
No, it ain't. Look, I'll pound. You holler.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
Go on, holler, please. Make out like you're locked in, both of you.
You out there. Unlock this door.
Yeah, let us out of here.
Open this door, I say.
You can't get away with this. Open up.
Shut up or I'll come in there and shut you.
Uh-oh. It looks like this may boomerang, Mary.
Cut it out now. I think maybe it worked good enough.
Hey, what's going on down there, Steve? Nothing. Only these reporters is getting kind of restless.
Who's he talking to?
Al Vincent.
Ah. We gotta find her. Take a look at them two down there, then come on up.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
They're okay, Al. Just a little mad, that's all. All right, come on up. Quick. Coming right now.
It worked. He's going away.
It was awful close.
Yes. Much too close for comfort. What do we do now?
Gotta work fast. You see, Vincent's waiting for a phone call. As soon as he gets it, he's gonna take you two for a ride.
Oh, no.
Oh, cut it out, Mary. That's a lot of baloney, and you know it. He wouldn't dare try anything
It's the
like...
truth, Jim, so help me.
Yeah? Like the pack of lies you told Miss Lane to get a job on the planet, so you could tip off Al Vincent about Tony Sloan having the letters, huh?
Now, Jim...
I couldn't help it.
Couldn't help it, my eye. Wouldn't have helped if Tony Sloan had been murdered.
I didn't know anything was going to happen to him.
No, huh? Just like you didn't know the Daily Planet was going to be put out of business by $1 million slander suit when you stole those letters.
Look, this is no time to argue. I tell you, I couldn't help what I'd done. I had to do it.
Applesauce.
That's enough, Jim.
I know I got you into this jam, and now... Well, now I want to help you get out of it. You've got to believe me.
All right, Mary. I will believe you. What can we do?
Now, wait a minute, Miss Lane. How do we know she isn't going to lead us into more trouble?
We've got to trust her, Jim. Certainly we can't be any worse off than we are now, can we?
Well...
Look, I'm taking as much of a chance as you are. Because if I get caught... Well, that's all, brother.
For heaven's sake, let's stop talking and do something.
Okay. Follow me as quiet as you can through this doorway.
I'd still like to stake my chances on Mr. Kent and Inspector Henderson finding us.
Now, stop acting like that, Jim.
Shh. Don't make any noise. Come on.
As Jim Olson and Lois Lane, still unsure of Mary Hennig's honesty, cautiously follow the girl tough through the dark cellar in the hope of escape, Superman, in his guise of Clark Kent, is looking for them. Certain that their disappearance is tied up with Al Vincent, Kent has been vainly trying to find the crooked pawnbroker's unlisted address. Now, his hat pulled down over his eyes, he is affecting the mannerism of a gangster and has just entered a pool room in the slum district where he questions the proprietor, Earl Lake.
What do you want with Al Vincent?
I gotta see him. Something important just came up, and I got the office to pass it on to Al.
Yeah? From who?
From the boss.
Who's the boss?
Hey, what is this? You know who I mean, Marty Higgins.
Yeah, huh? How come Higgins didn't tell you where to find Vincent?
He said I go to the pawn shop, but it's closed. I called back Marty's house, but nobody answers. Now, look, Earl, I just gotta see Vincent. If I don't, and right away, it's gonna be too bad for Marty in the elections. And for you, too. Get that?
For me?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Look, pal, you don't have to play games with me. I know about the string of pool rooms you own, and about the gambling rooms in the back, and about the kids you let in.
Now, wait a minute.
We know you need Marty's protection. Why else would you give him $15,000 to help him get elected mayor?
How'd you know? I mean...
Don't give me that routine. I tell you, I'm in the know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And how come you don't know where Vincent lives?
Because I work in Marty's downtown district. I don't have much to do with this district. Tonight, something bad came up, and Marty told me to contact Al Vincent. Now, are you going to stall around all night and maybe ruin Marty's chances for mayor? Or do you tell me where Vincent lives?
Well, I guess I can tell you. Only I got to be careful, because Vincent don't like certain people to know where he lives.
All right, but I'm not just certain people. Come on, spill, and fast.
Okay. Vincent's place is an old broken-down brownstone at 1619 Hudson Street.
1619 Hudson, eh?
Yeah.
Thanks, pal. That's all I want to know.
Hey, listen. What's your name?
Tell you next time I see you. So long.
Hurrying from the pool room, Kent steps into a dark doorway. Quickly, he strips off his business suit, and a moment later stands revealed in the blue and red costume of Superman.
Something tells me there's no time to lose. So straight to 1619 Hudson Street. Up, and away!
Leaping high into the night sky, Superman streaks away toward Al Vincent's hideout, where, at this moment, the lives of Lois Lane and Jim Olson are more than ever endangered. Will he arrive in time? We'll know more in a moment when we return for the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, lots of times, daydreams that start with if don't pay off. Like, if I had $1 million and so forth. But, gang, here's an if that is no daydream. And it sure does pay off in good eating. It goes like this. If you'll have a black raspberry ringer tomorrow morning, you'll have a honey of a breakfast. That's this week's Pep Dish of the Week, you know. Black raspberry ringer. And it's a nifty way to give a new twist to your morning dish of Kellogg's Pep. Try it. First, pour out your regular serving of Pep, the Sunshine cereal. Then, on top, arrange a ring of black raspberries around the edge of your bowl. A neat sight to see and a thriller to taste. Pep's sparkling Sunshine flavor sure does rise and shine. And how Pep's crisp tenderness does team up with those juicy berries. How Kellogg's Pep does tease you into finishing off every bit in your bowl. And what a good thing that is. Sure, because the cereal grains have been picked out to help give good nourishment to fellows and girls overseas. So, gang, when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make yourself a committee of one to help guard against waste. Handle the package carefully if you pour your own Pep. And eat up every bit you pour out. Always remember, eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
While Superman in his guise of Clark Kent was posing as a gangster to learn the address of Al Vincent's hideout, Lois Lane and Jim Olsen were blindly following Mary Hennig through a dark basement. As we rejoin them now, still not sure the girl tough is to be trusted, they inch quietly across the damp concrete floor in response to her whispered urging.
Come on. Hurry, please.
Where are we going?
To the coal bin.
The coal bin?
Yeah. There's an iron cover set in a hole in the sidewalk for the coal to be dropped through. If we can open that...
Fat chance.
You got a better idea, Jim?
Oh, no,
Well, then be quiet. This has got to work.
Watch you don't slip on the loose coal here. Okay, hold it. Wait till I light this flashlight. Now, there's the coal hatch up there. You see?
Uh-huh. Like a small manhole.
Yeah, but it's big enough for us to slip through. Now, you boost me up, Jim. I'll open it and get out. Then you can boost Miss Lane, and I'll help her.
Nothing doing. I'm not taking any chances of you running out on us.
But I told
you.
you...
and Miss Lane together can boost me up. Lock your hands together and make a stir.
Now, look here, Jim.
Do like I say, Miss Lane, please.
Oh, well, all right. Come on, Mary, give me your hand.
Okay.
There, now, how's that?
Fine. Steady now. Here I go.
Can you reach it?
Yeah. Have it open in a jiffy.
Hurry, Jim.
Yes, hurry. My arms are breaking.
Just another second. Here it comes.
Oh, thank heaven.
Hey, look out.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. My hand slipped.
Quiet.
Gosh. Sorry,
Listen, they heard us upstairs. Quick, up on your feet.
Okay.
Are you hurt?
No. Quick, Mary. Let me boost you up. Then you help Miss Lane from up there.
But you said...
Never mind what I said. I've got to trust you now. Here, put your foot in my hands.
Okay.
Two men at the head of the stairs.
Lights. They see us.
There they are, Al, in the coal bin. Don't move. Any one of you. Or I'll shoot that kid.
What do you think they're going to do to us, Miss Lane?
I just as soon not know until we have to, Jim.
I can't just sit here and not know what's going to happen to us. Look, Mary, you know these guys. Maybe if you ask them...
I don't have to ask them. I know.
You do?
Yeah. Vincent said it's going to look like we were in an accident.
An accident? What kind of an accident?
The kind you don't walk away from.
Gleeves? You mean...
Yeah. And it's all my fault. I got you into this.
You sure did.
Be quiet, Jim. Now, Mary.
I didn't want to, Miss Lane. Honest, I didn't, but I had to. Al Vincent said I'd go to jail if I didn't. He said he'd turn me in. I wish I was dead.
As the black sedan carrying Lois, Jimmy, and Mary Hennig roars on into the night, Superman has arrived at Al Vincent's tenement hideout. Resuming his guise of Clark Kent, he knocks at the door of the ground floor apartment.
Good evening, Mr. Vincent.
Who? Oh, you're Kent, the Daily Planet reporter.
Yes, that's right. Where are Miss Lane and Jim Olsen?
Who?
Miss Lane and Jim Olsen, where are they?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you do. Mary Hennig was working for you when she stole the Higgins letters from our files. Miss Lane and Jim must have discovered her.
I never heard of Mary Hennig, or no Higgins letters either. And I never heard of Miss Lane or Jim Olsen.
Now listen, Vincent.
No, you listen, Kent. You busted into my shop last night looking for kid burglars and stolen merchandise. Now you come snooping around here talking through your hat again.
I'm not talking through my hat.
I don't like that, see? And I don't like you. Now, beat it. I want to go to bed.
Just a minute. If you've got nothing to hide, you won't mind my looking your place over, will you?
No. I ain't afraid, Kent. Come on in. fella, Kent. Look around and see if your friends are down here.
Oh, I know they're not here, Vincent. Not anymore.
What do you mean, not anymore?
Just what I say. They're not here now, but they were here.
Who says they were?
I do. And here's the proof.
What's that?
Take a look at it. It's a silver shoe buckle, Vincent. It's one of a pair I gave Miss Lane last Christmas, and it was lying right here in your coal bin. That proves Miss Lane was here, doesn't it?
Ah, you're nuts. I don't know how that buckle got there.
I can tell you how it got there. You brought Miss Lane and Jim Olson here after they discovered Mary Hennig at the Planet office this evening. You knew they could testify that Mary was working for you and that she had stolen the evidence against your partner, Martin Higgins, the crook who wants to be mayor of Metropolis. You couldn't let them testify because that would ruin Higgins' campaign, and you, too.
You got it all figured out, huh, Kent?
You bet I have. So now if you
Don't move, Kent.
That gun won't help you.
You kidding?
Not at all. Now, where are Miss Lane and Jim Olson?
Where you nor nobody else will ever see them alive again.
Why, you... What did you do with them? Where are they?
Don't move, I said. You're a smart guy, Kent, but not smart enough. This is curtains for you, pal.
Don't be a fool, Vincent. Put down that gun and talk fast. Where are Miss Lane and Jim?
On their way to where you're going. That's all, brother.
Pleasant dreams. Now, out of these clothes. When Mr. Vincent wakes up, he's going to find himself up in the air with Superman.
What's that? Where am I?
About 5 miles up in the sky, Mr. Vincent.
What? No, I'm dreaming.
You think so? Here, I'll pinch you. Feel that?
Oh!
Still think you're dreaming? Look down. There's the Metropolis River way down there. It's a long way to fall, Vincent.
How did I get up here? Hey, wait, you. Who are you?
Superman.
Superman?
That's right. Now talk. Where are Miss Lane and Jim Olson?
I don't know, I tell you. Look, take me down.
There's a faster way to go down. I'll drop you.
No, don't.
Will you tell me where Miss Lane and Jim are?
No, I don't know.
Here you go. Happy landing.
Help! Help! Stop me! Stop me! Superman, help!
There, I got you. Up we go again. Up!
You just got me in time. I was almost in the river.
Good place for rats like you who tempt youngsters to break the law. Now, you ready to tell me where my friends are?
I don't know, I tell you. You got me wrong.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to prevent murder if possible. Now, do you talk or do we take a ride on the merry-go-round?
I don't know nothing, I tell you. You got to believe me.
Stop it. You told Kent that Miss Lane and Jim were on their way somewhere.
No, I didn't.
Still think you can do away with Jim and Miss Lane and see Higgins elected mayor, eh? All right, see if I can't make you change your mind. Here we go.
No!
This is called the Giant Figure 8. 10 miles up, 10 miles down, and loop the loop. Ready to talk, Vincent?
I don't know nothing, I tell you.
You're the toughest cook I've seen in a long time. All right, here's where we really go to town. Hang on, Mr. Rat. Up and around we go.
Stop it!
Okay, Steve, here's the place. See the jalopy?
Yeah. It's over there in the bushes, like Vincent said. Come on, let's go. Okay, Miss Lane and Olson. You too, Chickie. Get out. Get out of that car, I said.
Where are we?
Way out in the country. Ain't it pretty?
Jeepers, it's dark. Don't be frightened, Mary.
Nah, don't be scared. This ain't gonna take long.
What are you gonna do?
See that jalopy over there in the bushes, Olson?
Yeah, I see it.
And you see the hill going down right in front of us?
Uh-huh.
So you three chumps are going down the hill in the jalopy, and you're gonna have a little accident.
What do you mean, an accident?
There's an old quarry at the bottom of the hill, Miss Lane. It's full of water and about 50 feet deep. Get John?
No, you couldn't do
Come
that.
on, Steve. Quit gabbing and get it over.
Okay, let's go.
We'll return in a moment for the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, in sports, they usually say that if a fella's a good starter, he's a fast finisher, too. And believe me, gang, this applies to you. Sure, if you give your day a good start with a solid sort of breakfast, then you're pretty likely to finish up in high, too. So get hep to Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal. There's a breakfast dish that makes you want to eat hearty. Looks terrific in the first place, all golden and toasted and crisp. And Pep tastes just as good as it looks. What flavor? Keen, sparkling sunshine flavor. Sunny, delicious, come-on flavor. A toasted full wheat flavor that your appetite can really latch onto. Yes, sir, Kellogg's Pep sure is on the sunbeam when it comes to tickling your taste. Every tender spoonful has the old stuff that keeps you coming right back for more until you've polished your bowl clean as a whistle. Nobody wants to waste one flake of Kellogg's Pep. And pour it out carefully, too. That's especially important nowadays when the cereal grains are being sent to fellows and girls overseas. So when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, see that it's not wasted. Tip off the rest of your family, too. Make it a habit to eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
On a dark, deserted country road outside of Metropolis, two of Al Vincent's thugs have knocked out Jim Olson, Lois Lane, and Mary Hennig and placed their unconscious bodies in the seat of a dilapidated coupe, which is poised now at the crest of a steep hill that descends to an old water-filled quarry.
Everything all set, Louis?
Yeah, I like the wheel. When we give it a push, it'll go right down into the quarry.
Oh, good. Now, if anybody ever finds them, it'll look like they just had an accident. Come on, let's go. Push.
Okay. Why, ain't Vincent the smart one to think of something like this?
Yeah, Vincent is smart, period. All right. Okay. Stand back. There she goes. So long, sucker!
Up to the road. Up!
Moments later, on the grass beside the road where they had been gently placed, first Jimmy Olsen, then Lois Lane and Mary Hennig open their eyes, stare about them incredulously, and then up at the tall, smiling, red and blue-clad figure, who explains quickly what has happened. Mary bursts into tears.
Oh, now, look, there's nothing to cry about, Mary. You're all right. Superman saved you.
I wish I was dead.
Mary, please.
I do, Miss Lane. I wish he had saved just you and Jim and left me to drown.
Why, Mary?
I think it's because she realizes she made a lot of mistakes and she's sorry.
Well, she should have thought of that before.
Don't be too harsh with her, Superman. After all, when she did realize what she'd done, why, she deliberately risked her life to help us.
Yeah, she was caught by Vincent. That's how come she was in the car with us.
I see.
Now I'll be sent to reform school.
Maybe you won't be sent away. We'll do all we can to help you, Mary.
Sure we will. Won't we, Superman?
Yes, of course, but we mustn't forget that Mary broke the law, and it's up to the court to decide whether she's to be punished. All right, come on, under my arms with all of you. That's it. Now, hang on. We're all going to pay a visit to Inspector Henderson. Up, up, and away!
Now, Mary, you stole other things for Al Vincent before he sent you the Daily Planet for the Higgins letters, didn't you?
Yes, Inspector. He showed me how to steal things from stores and tires off parked cars and stuff like that.
Why did you do it, Mary? I mean, steal for Vincent.
Because, well, he said I could make a lot of easy money. That's what he tells all the kids. But it ain't true. He didn't give us hardly anything for the stuff we swiped.
Well, then why'd you keep on doing it?
We had to, Jim. If the kid wanted to quit, Vincent's guerrillas would beat him up. And then he'd say that the next time he'd turn the kid into the cops and have him sent to reform school.
Why, the dirty...
Easy, Jim, easy. That's the way the Vincents in this world always trap youngsters. They tempt them with easy money, make them think it's smart to break the law. Once they get their hooks into a boy or girl, they never let go. Till the poor kid winds up in jail. Sometimes even in the electric chair.
You're right, Superman. But I think we've got enough on Vincent now to send him away for a long stretch. Thanks to Mary's confession and to your efforts in capturing Vincent's henchmen. Those rats squealed plenty.
Oh, gee, that's swell.
It certainly is.
How about Martin Higgins, the man who wants to be mayor of Metropolis and who sued the Daily Planet for $1 million for slander?
Oh, cheapers, I forgot that.
Higgins is Vincent's partner, the power behind the big racketeers in this city. But if we can't convict him, he might win the election next week and break the Planet, too.
Look, Inspector, Mary can testify that she stole the evidence from the Planet which proved that Higgins was a crook.
Sure I can, and I will, too.
I'm counting on that. Also, my men are checking on Higgins now. If they can find that he really was associated with Vincent...
Oh, I'm sure they can.
Then we'll have him behind the 8-ball. Tomorrow's the big day. I'll see you all in the courtroom then.
The courtroom? You mean I'll be sent to reform school tomorrow?
That's up to the judge, Mary. We'll see.
Vincent and Martin Higgins, rise, please.
Well, this is it, Lois.
Oh, Clark, the judge just can't let them go. He can't.
Albert Vincent and Martin Higgins, the court finds sufficient evidence against you in the matters of conspiracy to commit murder and grand larceny and contributing to the delinquency of minors to hold you without bail for the next session of the grand jury on June 19th.
Hot dog, that's telling him, Judge.
Court adjourned.
Oh, what's the matter with you, Lois?
With me? What do you mean, Clark?
You look so downhearted.
Yeah, your chin is practically hitting your knees.
Oh, well, I'm just...
Should feel wonderful. Vincent and Higgins are cinched to get 20 years apiece. That means Higgins can't possibly be mayor now, and the Daily Planet is saved.
I know, it's marvelous, but I just keep thinking about Mary Hennig. Gosh, Clark, if they send her away, it'll break her spirit and maybe kill her mother.
Well, all we can do is hope for the best. Here's the juvenile court. Should be up for trial about now. Come on in.
Mary Hennig, please rise.
Chin up, Mary. Got my fingers crossed for you.
Thanks, Jim. Oh, Clark, I can't stand it.
Take it easy, Lois.
But
quiet. The judge is going to read his verdict.
Tensely, Clark, Kent, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen lean forward, their eyes riveted on the black-robed judge and on young Mary Hennig, who stands lip-trembling below him. What will the judge's verdict be? We'll be back in a moment to find out, so stand by.
Say, gang, let me tell you about a breakfast dish that's really the berries in more ways than one. It's this week's Pep Dish of the Week, Black Raspberry Ringer. And what a smooth combination it is. Listen, you pour out your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal. On top, around the edge of your bowl, make a wide ring of plump, juicy black raspberries. Add milk and sugar, and there's your Black Raspberry Ringer. Why, it runs rings around most anything you ever tasted. I mean, it's delicious. You see, those tender golden toasted flakes of Kellogg's Pep are a bang-up good treat in themselves. So crisp and light and full up with keen, sparkling sunshine flavor that you want to settle down to eating until you've finished up every last bit in your bowl. Believe me, nobody wants to waste Kellogg's Pep. And pour it out carefully, too, because waste is particularly bad nowadays when we're sending the cereal grains to fellows and girls all over the world. So latch on to Kellogg's Pep, gang. When Mom brings Pep home from the grocer's, make sure there's no waste at your house. Pass the word along to the rest of your family, too. Make sure to eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
In Metropolis Juvenile Court, the black-robed judge is about to deliver his verdict in the case of young Mary Hennig, who stands at the bar, pale and trembling. Behind her, in the first row of the courtroom, Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen wait tensely.
Mary Hennig, the court has considered all the evidence in your case and finds you guilty of larceny and assault. Therefore, it is the duty of this court to sentence you to 3 years in the state reformatory.
Oh, no. Gosh, no, Judge.
Quiet, or I shall order the courtroom cleared. The court has, however, considered the circumstances of your case, which include the unfortunate conditions of your environment and the forces responsible for your acts of delinquency. Further consideration is given the recommendations of the police department and district attorney's office for clemency and their belief of your sincere repentance.
What's coming now, Mr. Kent?
Hold on to your hat, Jim.
I am therefore making your sentence a suspended one, Mary. Do hereby parole you in the custody of Miss Lois Lane.
Oh, gee whiz.
Oh, Clark, isn't that wonderful?
That's great.
Oh, boy, Mary's free. Isn't that swell?
Yes, go ahead, Jim. Court adjourned.
And so Mary Hennig's trial is over, and Al Vincent and Martin Higgins, the corrupt politician who dreamed of controlling the great city of Metropolis, appear bound for the penitentiary. The following week, as the votes are counted in the city's mayoralty election, we learn that Henry Marshall is elected. That day, in the Daily Planet City Room, Clark Kent, Jimmy Olsen, and Lois Lane are discussing the new mayor.
Well, Lois, did you hear our new mayor, Henry Marshall, outline his program?
No, I couldn't listen to the radio, Clark. I was writing the election story.
Oh.
What did he say?
Well, he said the first thing he's going to do is sign the slum clearance bill.
Oh, good.
Then start tearing down those rat-trap tenements and build modern housing. And parks and playgrounds and gymnasiums for the youngsters.
That's wonderful. Then those kids will have a chance to grow up to be happy American citizens.
Sure.
Mary, Jim, did you hear what Clark just said?
I heard Mr. Marshall on the radio.
Oh, so did I. Jeepers, I'm so glad
Oh, boy, am I glad all this is over. Now I can get back to my baseball team.
What baseball team, Jim?
Gosh, don't you know, Miss Lane? The Unity House team. I'm the manager and coach.
Not really.
Boy, what a ball club. Terrific, if I do say so myself.
My, such modesty.
Yes. Oh, well, we are, Mr. Kent. We won 6 games and only lost 1.
Only lost 1?
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow we're playing in the semifinals for the city championship.
Good boy.
If we win that and then the finals, we get to play the winners of the Middle West and California tournaments for the boys' championship of the country.
Jeepers, I sure hope you win.
So do I, Jim. Can Mary and I come to the game?
Oh, sure. I'll get you passes.
Well,
sure.
Get me one, too. Well, I guess everything's back to normal. We can take an interest in baseball again.
Ah, you said it, Mr. Kent. All our troubles are over.
You're wrong, Jim. Your troubles are only beginning. Dangerous troubles, such as even you and Clark Kent and Lois Lane have never experienced. Fellows and girls, we're beginning a brand new and exciting Superman adventure on Monday. There's a thrilling baseball story and a gigantic fight against a dangerous enemy which tries all Superman's great powers to the utmost. Don't miss a single episode of this new story. Be with us every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at this same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. You know, it wouldn't surprise me, fellers, if your dog sometimes wishes he were you. Sure, then he could tell Mother what he likes to eat. And it wouldn't surprise me if he'd ask for Kellogg's Grow Pup dog food quick. Why, it beats all how many dogs beg for it. Grow Pup has such a swell, meaty flavor. And there are 3 different kinds. There's Grow Pup Ribbon, Grow Pup Meal, and Grow Pup Pellets. They're all mighty tasty and mighty good for your dog. Help give him lots of muscle, strong bones, and teeth. Remind Mother next time she's marketing to ask for Kellogg's Grow Pup. And be sure to be with us on Monday for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.